Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Duncan's okay. He's back home. His parents are gonna keep him home a couple days, let him rest.
I'm so sorry, Dad.
Stop. It's okay.
It's my fault. I'm the one who gave Wallace a bugged plant.
Veronica, did you make some kind of deal with Celeste Kane that I don't know about?
I told her I'd look for Duncan if she released Weevil.
She said she wouldn't pay the reward. She said that we're even now. It's ridiculous, of course. They'll pay. She's just enjoying the moment.
She's a witch.
Veronica, what if you started looking for another job? Selling clothes or something.
What?
I just can't help think that your life would be better if you weren't working for me.
Are you kidding me? You're the best father in the world. I mean, come on, look at me. I'm healthy, happy, good grades, all my own teeth, fancy shoes. I never would have gotten through this past year if it wasn't for you.
If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have to.
Hey, hello, how we doing, everybody out there in podcast listening land? Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Veronica Mars. We're just two boys watching every episode of Veronica Mars, giving our thoughts, our reviews, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 21, titled A Trip to the Dentist, directed by Marcos Siega, written by Diane Ruggiero. Oh, Ruggiero, that's what it is. Ruggiero. Original air date, May 3rd, 2005, to an audience of 2.85 million people. Before we get into the episode, everybody, hop on our Discord, links in the show notes, join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. We're doing Dollhouse. The movie of the month is gonna be Empire Records. And yeah, good times. How are you doing, Vance?
I'm doing all right. We don't have a lot of stuff up top. I think we gotta just dive into this episode, man. I can't believe I did not realize we were so close to the end of the season. I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot.
And yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a long episode, everybody. If you're...
Hunker in.
Yep, buckle up. Yeah. Buckle up. It's going to be a long one. And because it's going to be a long one, I grabbed one of the new gifts that we got. I got one of these big old white Monster energy drinks because I'm going to be sipping throughout, I think.
I haven't gotten a chance to, re-up on mine yet.
Yeah,
we haven't linked up. So I'm still on the watermelon burst.
We haven't made the drop off.
that shady deal that we do.
Yep.
Under the
energy drinks.
Under the overpass.
Okay. So as soon as this episode started, and we got...
Do you want predictions?
Oh, right. Predictions, yes. Predictions for a trip to the dentist.
I said someone has a toothache, goes to the dentist, something. I didn't really have a good one. And Joe said Veronica going to the dentist to research the GHB drug.
Oh, okay.
Which they decide to not really even worry about it being GHB. I don't know why they were so specific last episode. And this episode, they cut the...
I remember looking it up and it was like an anesthetic and I was like, oh shit, maybe that's what they used to, drug Veronica. Oh, that's basically what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
I was like, maybe she's gonna but it had nothing to do with the dentist, like the drug.
No, I mean, the drug, the dentist thing's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But in the recap, they cut out the GHB part and she says, where did you get the roofies? And then they cut to the Ted character being like, I got it from Logan. And then they don't really call it GHB for the rest of the episode, do they? I feel like they just talk about...
Yeah, they definitely do.
Okay.
Yeah. But as soon as this episode opened up with the flashback of Veronica being like what she was like, do you you want to know how I lost my virginity? I do too. I was like, oh no. Oh no. And I will say, full disclosure, I got a text message from Vance before watching this episode that said 5-hour episode of the podcast incoming. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in this episode of TV.
Yeah. So we got a recap of Veronica's being drugged or roofied at that Shelly Pomroy's party. Recap of Clarence Weedman and Alicia, Veronica bugging Clarence Weedman's plant, and Logan and Veronica making out. So we start the episode off in Havana, Cuba. And, we get a nice little establishing shots with all the old timey cars, like, how they have in Cuba. And there's some Cuban music playing and everybody's outside. They turned up the saturation a bit on the color correction. Make sure you think, it's hot there.
Yep.
And everything's just a tad more yellow and orange.
Yep.
And we pan over to a mystery man reading a newspaper. Newspaper folds down. It's Duncan. He's got a little beard going. He's taken up residence in Cuba. But the reason why he folds his paper down is because there's a mystery man sitting across from him. And that is Keith Mars. Keith Mars found Duncan.
Honestly, I feel like running into Keith when you don't expect him is the scariest thing in the world.
Oh my God, yes.
He is serial killer vibes.
Yes. It doesn't matter what kind of nice little sun hat you put on him. He's got like a sun hat and sunglasses that like when Duncan like unfolds that or folds up that paper and Keith just smiles at him. I was like, oh my God. He's like the monster from It Follows.
Yeah. Duncan looks good with the beard. I think the beard's look needs to stay for him.
Yeah. He can't grow an actual full beard, but he's got like a goatee and some patchiness, but it definitely, he looked good. But Duncan's like, how'd you find me? And did my parents send the private jet to bring me back? And Keith's like, don't worry about all of that. And then Duncan's kind of like, do you think that I killed Lilly? And Keith's like, I don't know if you killed Lilly. All I know is that it wasn't Abel Koontz who killed Lilly. And Duncan swears it wasn't him. Swears it wasn't Duncan who killed Lilly.
All right. So a couple things here. Keith says he doesn't know who killed Lilly. Does that match with the show's beginnings?
I'd have to rewatch the pilot. I recently was re-listening to our episode on the pilot, and it seems like they were leaning pretty hard into Keith being like, Jake did it.
Yeah, and the fact that Jake did it was what brought the city down. It wasn't that he got fired for sheriff because he was like, I don't think Abel Koontz did it. Because he wasn't even sheriff at that point. Because he watched the Abel Koontz being brought in on TV by the other sheriff that had already replaced him.
Yep.
Lamb had already replaced him. So I don't know why they're back. They seem to be backing off that he believed that it was Jake Kane.
Kane, yeah.
Which is, I don't know, like all of the problems stem from him blaming that guy. Now he's like, I don't know who did it.
Yeah.
Even
he's like, we found a soccer jersey in the laundry. Like, then why? Like I said, that episode.
Yeah.
Why did you think that Jake? Why were you going so hard? But now they're trying to like muddy the waters and be like, oh, he thinks he was going after Jake because it's a cover up. It's like that's not what.
Yeah, but who is he covering up? Duncan? Like, why do you not think it's Duncan at this point?
I have no idea.
And did Duncan run away because he's afraid that they're gonna arrest him for this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know why he ran away.
Me neither.
Yeah,
okay. I think it's because I don't know. I mean, Veronica was like hot on his trail, but she's just a high schooler.
Yeah, and the sheriff that was on your dad's trail got ousted. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
And there's a person
swearing,
in jail. Yeah.
Well, you're also swearing that you didn't do it, but you running away is way more suspicious.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is how we start. I was right.
Yep. That's where the episode starts. In glorious, hot, yellow and orange Havana, Cuba.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. If you listen to the Dollhouse podcast,
Oh, boy.
you know I don't know much about the U.S. government. But didn't we not have good relations with Cuba? Like, you couldn't visit Cuba back in 2005.
Yeah, I don't know when that got lifted. It seems like it was more.
I think that it got like changed when Obama was president, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I think Cuba was still like a trickier spot, but I think you could visit it. I don't know. I can't speak on it.
Okay. So yeah, Keith's bringing Duncan back. He found him.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go to Sunnydale. We go to Neptune High.
Might as well be.
Dude. I know we talk about like which is worse.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Neptune's worse. I'm going to say Neptune's worse. And they don't have the excuse of a hellmouth.
Yeah. Is like Neptune's worse, or is this every high school in America?
But yeah, we're at Neptune High, and Dick Casablancas and Logan, they're looking at Dick's new surfboard, and they're like, oh, this is a cool surfboard, yada, yada, yada. And then Veronica walks by, and Logan chases after her, and Weevil stops him. Veronica keeps walking, and Weevil's like, hey, man, she don't want to talk to you. And Logan's like, what the fuck? Who are you? And Weevil's like, I'm Weevil. You should know not to mess with me. You want how's the nape of your neck feeling, bro? You want that shit shook?
I don't think he asks, who are you?
No, I know he doesn't ask, who are you? But
I mean, we don't. I just
who
want
do you think you are? Yeah.
I just want the listeners to know that Logan hasn't had a head injury.
Yeah. So Weevil's like, she's not interested in talking to you. And Logan's like, get out of my way. I need to talk to her. And Weevil's like, no. And then he basically just like spills the beans that he fucked Lilly, because he was trying to leave that a mystery for a bit. And then in this scene, I was like, I was watching this scene and I was like, did I miss an episode? Am I an episode too far? Because so far the relationship with Weevil and Logan has been like this. Oh, did Weevil hook up with Lilly? Like, it seems like Logan doesn't. Mm-hmm. It's never been confirmed, but here it's confirmed.
It's confirmed slightly during the post Aaron Echolls beating Trina's abusive boyfriend walk and talk with Veronica. But Weevil has no knowledge of that.
Yeah.
So Weevil shouldn't be reacting as if he knows that he knows.
Yeah. And he was, because Weevil says, he's like pushing Logan away, and he's like, what are you going to do? You're going to hit her like you hit Lilly? And then Logan says, you keep her name out of your mouth. And Weevil goes, actually, she really liked it when I would say her name. And Logan's like, ooh, shut up.
I also didn't get Weevil's threat that he thinks Logan hit Lilly or harmed Lilly at some point, because I feel like they would have been more antagonistic than if they thought that was the case.
Yeah.
Like Weevil obviously doesn't think Logan harmed Lilly. But I don't know why he said this here.
Maybe he does.
If he did, they're not joking around playing poker. Not when you got that girl's name tattooed on you. Like, you're not just playing poker with them.
Yeah. But Logan says something like, she didn't care about you at all, Weevil. And Weevil says, well, what makes it worse? That she had feelings for me, or that she was just using me for sex? And Logan's like, and then a teacher comes by and breaks up the fight.
First time ever a teacher breaks up a fight.
Yeah. He's like, gentlemen, And they're like, all right. We're just talking about my dead girlfriend that this guy maybe fucked. And
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have a scene of Veronica showering at home. She's very upset. She's not happy.
I have to say that the one thing I noticed is that in their apartment, that TV is definitely not plugged into anything. It's just sitting in the middle of the floor. It's so funny.
It's one of those Bluetooth wireless TVs, man. But she comes out of the shower. Backup is barking because somebody's lurking outside the apartment. Veronica comes out with her little robe and she sees that it's Logan and she like rolls her eyes and Logan's like, I'm not leaving. And then Veronica opens the door and she's like, what do you want? He's like, I want to know what's going on. What did I do? What happened? Why is there all this tension? What's going on? And Veronica goes, I'll tell you why there's all this tension going on. It's because you were the one with GHB at Shelly Pomroy's party when somebody drugged and raped me. And Logan's like, what? And she's like, yeah. And I think it's you who did it. And Logan's like, whoa, dude, whoa. Okay, I did get GHB. I got it with Luke and some other guy from Tijuana. We were just trying to do some ecstasy and have some fun. Like, I didn't know that you were raped. I didn't do it. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but like, what's going on? And Veronica is just like, I don't know who did it and I don't really care, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this in this episode. And I am going to rain my vengeance down upon that person. And I don't care if it's you or anybody else. And then she like kind of closes the door and Logan's left there like, I mean, okay. I mean, I didn't do it.
This is fitting with her like first blame is like, Logan did it all season.
Well, I mean, there is evidence to lead you to believe.
I think his reaction to that, like his instant reaction to her telling him this, would give me the impression that he didn't do it. I feel like if he did it and you said that, that look is completely different than what he gave. And I was like, okay, it's no way. Like from her being asking people, finding out if people are lying, you should be like, I don't think this guy did that, but something happened.
Well, she's in an emotional state. She also, but I mean, to your point, she does talk about how she watched enough cop shows to be able to tell if people are lying or whatever earlier on in this season.
Yeah.
Because she said that when she was talking to that one girl when we're investigating like Bone Hamilton's daughter or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's interesting is that just because this is a TV show and we're one episode away from the finale, this is when Veronica goes, you know what? I should really focus on getting to the bottom of this thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's such a big plot point, and knowing how, like, we've seen her solve cases. Like, she found Clarence Weedman before the credits.
Before a long time ago.
And I was like, wait, have you not been looking for this guy? Like, it's just some stuff that happens because it's a TV show and you got 22 episodes that they have to push down. But I'm thinking finding Clarence Wheaton and finding out the person who drugged you and date raped you would be high priority.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that she found out about the drugs is an accident last episode. She wasn't even like looking for it. She just happened to like stumble across this video and then ask this guy a question, and now she's like, you know what? I should really look into that thing I've been putting on the back burner.
Yeah, I mean, in the pilot episode, you and I are like, how does she not look into this? That's the first case that
like I need.
But then I know the Discord
every,
pushed back on us, and they were like, it's traumatizing. I get it, but damn, dude,
it's traumatizing. But the way she deals with her trauma is by actively going at it and making explicitly sexual references herself, which she does in this episode, which was like, whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Like Logan's reaction to finding out all of this wouldn't lead me to believe that he was behind this or that he did it. And he immediately fess. He's like, yeah, I had GHB. I was just fucking trying to have, it's ecstasy. Like, I was just trying to do some drugs. Like, that's what we do. Yeah. But I didn't know that happened to you. And Veronica's like, well, I'm going to make you pay. I mean, it was like a super heavy, I got to say, the shift in tone from her being like, whoever did this, I'm going to find out and I'm going to make them pay. Her slamming the door to, a long time ago, we used to. I was like, this is a tone shift for sure.
It's definitely a very special episode of Veronica Mars.
Yeah, this one maybe could have done without the Dandy Warhols.
Yeah, you just cut to like Veronica Mars, and it's just like a hard like theme.
Yeah,
like it's an instrumental, and it's just done. Yeah,
yeah. I also gotta say there's some weird music choices going on in this episode too.
Yeah. It took us 20 minutes to get to the opening song. Oh man.
So it's Veronica the next day at school, and she's like, I don't have a lot of contacts with the 09ers, but I do have a few. I'm gonna start asking around and get to the bottom of this who drugged me. So she goes up to Meg, who's we haven't seen in a minute, and I like Meg. And
yeah, like an episode probably.
She goes up to Meg and she's like, "Hey, this is a weird question, but like, do you remember Shelly Pomroy's party last year?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do you remember seeing me?" And Meg's like, "Yeah, I saw you kind of briefly, but like, we weren't like hanging out or anything." And then we get a flashback.
Dude, Meg's look is so guilty here. I was like, did she do it?
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this, everybody that Veronica questions about this immediately starts getting like shifty eyes and like, oh, yeah, Shelly's party. Yeah, I saw you, but you should probably not look into that.
The fact that Logan didn't get shifty eyes would have cleared him immediately. Everyone else is like, what? I'm like, Meg?
Yeah, I was like, did Meg do it?
Jeez.
But Meg explains like, yeah, I was there with Cole and we were about to leave. We all see this in a flashback. And Veronica is like passed out by the pool and people are doing like body shots off of her. And she's like basically just unconscious and people are just like pouring shit on her. And Meg's like talking to Cole and she's like, hey, somebody should help her. Like, we can't just leave her here. And Cole's like, oh, come on, I want to leave. And Meg's like, we can't. Dude, like, she's passed out and they're doing like some fucked up shit. And Cole's like, oh, look, somebody's got her. See? And we see a mystery backed person picking Veronica up. And Meg's like, okay, good enough for me. And so she leaves. And she's like, and that was the last that I really saw of you. I didn't want to leave you like that, but that's what happened.
And she says, well, I mean, everybody had embarrassing like party stories. It's not the end of the world. And then you get the 1,000-yard stare from Veronica.
Yeah. And she also says something about like, yeah, we've all had like embarrassing party things, but like, dude, that was like a year ago. Like, you got to let it go. And then Veronica's just got the fucking...
We just cut to her in the gym shower, like slumped over with one.
She's got the like, Saving Private Ryan, like just drone. The shell shock.
Yeah. Bury it down, Veronica. You got it. You got more interviews.
So then we have Keith returning on the private jet with Duncan. And he's greeted by Clarence Weidman. Clarence Weidman's like, great job, Keith. Like, I didn't think that you could pull it off. Maybe I underestimated you. And Keith is like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't underestimate me because you're going to end up in prison or whatever.
Yeah, he says maybe your daughter will maybe Veronica will have a career in travel or something.
Yeah.
Did they send him to Cuba with the private jet or did he take the private jet back?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what the hiring situation, and it only gets more weird here because he goes up to Celeste and she's like, thank you so much, Keith, for returning my son. I really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you. And then Keith's like, yeah. So you can stop by anytime at my office and we can settle up. And she's like, settle up what? And he goes, the reward money. And she's like, oh, you should talk to your daughter about that. You just held up your end of the bargain on the deal that I made with her. And Keith's like, what? And I wrote in my notes, like, how could you be so cold after just having your son returned to you?
I feel completely the opposite way.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Because I've written in my notes to bring this up before this happened. When they put out the $50,000 reward, that was after Celeste. That was after Veronica had promised Celeste that if she let Weevil out of jail and didn't press charges for finding Weevil in Lily's bedroom, that she would find Duncan.
She said she would help.
She said she would help, implying that she knew. I think she said, I can give you a lead, because then later in her voiceover, she's like, I actually don't know where he is. But she kind of implied she knows where he is and I can help. So for Celeste, in her view, she has to think Veronica told Keith where to find Duncan.
She thinks that Veronica is Keith's negotiator?
No. She thinks Veronica is the reason Duncan left, which technically she is, right?
Yeah.
Veronica implies or infers that she kind of knows where Duncan is, and if she lets Weevil go, she'll make it happen. So, from Celeste's point of view, Veronica could have told Keith the info she knew. Keith could go down there to confirm it, and then that's it. That's the bar. Like, that's I see
where you're coming from with this.
She let Weevil off. Weevil, they did not press charges against Weevil, and that was the deal.
I see what you're saying, but based on Keith's reaction to this,
but Keith doesn't.
He
know.
Obviously was not privy to that information.
No, I know he wasn't. I'm saying from perspective of Celeste, how is she supposed to know that Veronica didn't tip off Keith to where this is?
Okay,
she
see what you're
definitely
saying.
let Weevil off the hook, and she found him breaking into her house.
She did.
That's
I think much like with Logan's reaction, when Celeste sees Keith's reaction and he asks her about the reward.
Yeah. No, I mean, Celeste is being a jerk about it, but she does have a leg to stand on.
Well, this is the other thing too, is like, even if that is the deal or something, and he's like, what about the reward? She's like smirking at him.
She's being she's being an asshole because she does not like Keith. And she does not like the Mars family. She's being an asshole about it, but she also has a leg to stand on based off of Veronica's deal that she made. Veronica made a trade. Okay.
But she walks away, and Keith's left standing there like, what the fuck is what? It's $50,000. Like, I needed to fix my shower.
Yeah, you got a chance to ride on a private plane. You're all right,
dude. Fuck that, dude. If I had a chance, if it's you get $50,000 or ride on a private plane to do
of course
work,
you take $50,000.
Give me that $50K, bro.
You got to stop trying to get money off the family you tried to put in jail. I just will say that.
But Celeste gets into the car with Duncan, and she's like, you have no idea how hard these last couple of weeks have been. Next time you decide to run away, maybe you should take your medicine with you. And Duncan's just staring out the window. He grabs his pill bottle. I thought he was going to take the pills and throw them out the window.
I did too.
But he just like looks at him, and he just continues to stare out the window after.
Yeah, she's really trying to get him to take these drugs.
Bro.
She needs him to forget.
Yeah. So then we go to Veronica. And the next person in her interrogation is Luke. She's like, hey, remember when I got a drug dealer off of your back and I said you're going to owe me a favor? And he's like, yeah. She's like, well, now's that time. You remember Shelly Pomroy's party? You got GHB with Logan, right? And he was like, yeah. And she's like, did you drug me with that? And he's like, what? No, I got the GHB and I gave it to Dick Casablancas at the party. And then we get a flashback.
Before we get the flashback, I just have to say, she's asking him about that. He goes like, I don't have any. And she goes, aw, I was going to spike your juice box and have my way with you. I was like,
yeah,
that's an interesting line to have during the line of questioning that you're doing.
And she does this kind of stuff throughout the episode too. Yeah.
All right.
But we get Luke's perspective. And I do have to say, throughout all these flashbacks and when Veronica's questioning people, I do enjoy that everybody has a different remembering of this situation.
Yeah.
Because that would be
some
exactly
people
what
some people have different memories. Some people are lying. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are probably drunk as fuck and don't even remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is Luke's flashback is to Dick Casablancas and him and the rest of their like bro crew. They're talking about how they're like trying to hook up with chicks, and they're like, Dick, why don't you just hook up with your girlfriend Madison? And Dick's kind of being like, she's not giving it up, you know? Like she's like so uptight. She comes over, he starts to like massage her, and she's like, get off of me, Dick. And then she leaves. And then Dick's like, yo, Luke, can I get some of that ecstasy? Can I get some of that GHB? We got to loosen this lady up. And Luke's like, yeah, sure, bro. And so Luke explains to Veronica now that he gave Dick 2 doses of GHB. And he's like, I don't think that Madison took her dose, though. And Veronica goes, why? And then we get a flashback again of Madison spray painting Veronica's car. She's spray painting slut on it.
Mm-hmm. There's a really funny line in this scene, but listeners, you're going to have to stick around to the end of the episode to hear it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So Veronica goes, okay, so Madison was there and she spray painted my car. She's next.
Mm-hmm.
So Veronica meets Madison in her office, the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, hey, Madison, why did you write slut on my car the night of Shelly Pomroy's party?
My first thought was, isn't it obvious?
Yeah. Yeah. I also got to say, the wig that they give Madison in these flashbacks is pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. It's been a year.
But
so she can look the same.
She can have the same hair.
Yeah. Dick Casablancas does, right? Pretty much. Yeah.
Dude, they do her so dirty with this wig, dude. It is a fucking helmet on her head.
Yeah.
But she's like, why'd you write slut on my car? And Madison's like, yo, isn't it obvious? And Veronica's like, no. And she's like, oh, what are you going to use as an excuse? Here's why. And then we get a flashback from Madison's perspective. She's like, because you made out with my boyfriend. And the flashback shows that Veronica was like hopping all over everybody. She pushes Dick Casablancas onto a couch and she's singing like, when I think about you and touch myself. Or I think that's a song. But
nothing that she's doing at this party would make her unpopular.
Yeah. If anything, it would make her more popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
And the dad went after Jake Kane, but no, he didn't. He actually just thinks Abel Kuntz didn't do it. So now it's less reason for people not to like Veronica. So
she shoves Dick onto the couch and she's on top of him and then she kisses him. And you see a shot of Madison looking at this and she's like, how could you? And then Dick sees that Madison is looking at her and him kissing and he's like, oh, come on. Oh, wait, no, is that Dick's flashback?
No. She makes out with Dick Casablancas. Then she climbs over Dick and starts to try to kiss Beaver. And Beaver's like, no, and pushes her off. He's like, I prefer my girls like less
No,
drunk.
I think that was Casey. That was Casey Gant.
Oh, that's Casey Gant? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's making out with
Casey.
Dick climbs off of Dick, tries to kiss Casey, and Casey's like, nah. And Veronica, we go back to present day, and Veronica's like, you're telling me that I made out with Dick Casablancas? And Madison's like, bro, you made out with fucking everybody at that party. You would have made out with the garage door. And she's like, Madison's like, you're telling me you don't remember that? And Veronica's like, no, I don't remember anything of that night. And Madison goes, oh, let me hear the excuse. Oh, I was too drunk to remember anything. And Veronica goes, I wasn't too drunk. I was drugged and raped that night. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. And Madison's like, as if. And then just walks away. I was like, Jesus.
I don't know if she said raped here, but I know she said drugged.
She did say drugged. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think she threw that other one.
Yeah. But Madison looks at her like, whatever, dude. Sure, you were drugged. Uh-huh. It's like, God. So then Veronica comes home and she's outside the apartment. She overhears Keith and Alicia, Wallace's mom, arguing about Veronica bugging Clarence Weidman's plant. And Alicia's like, how could she? She got my son involved in this. And your daughter is like overstepping her bounds. And Keith goes, well, she had her reasons for doing that. And Alicia goes, her reasons? She's 17. What reasons are there? And Keith's like, she's not your average 17-year-old girl, okay?
What show is this at that point? She's not your average 17-year-old girl. It's like, what? That's your argument?
So then, yeah. So then Veronica comes in and she's like, hey, Alicia, I'm sorry. I just overheard what you guys were talking about. I can explain. And Keith goes, Veronica, don't. Just go to your room. And Veronica's like, no. Let me explain. I got this, Dad. And Keith goes, Veronica, go to your room. And Veronica's like, whoa. Okay. All right. So she starts walking to her room. And as she's walking to her room, she turns, she goes, he bugged me first. And then goes into her room.
I didn't really understand Keith. I get Keith trying to be a parent here, but I didn't like him telling Veronica not to explain herself. You can't in the one line just have her be like, she's more than just a normal 17-year-old. And then she comes in and you treat her like she's like 12.
I think more the line of like, she had her reasons and then she comes to explain her reasons.
Yeah.
And he's like, go away. It's like, she's going to be way better at explaining these reasons than you are.
If I'm Alicia, I'm like, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
I'm getting nothing out of you, Keith.
Yeah. You're just saying, she's not your,
she's something. So.
She's on to something. Let's just trust me. Clarence Weidman needed to be bugged.
Yeah.
Like this.
I mean, I guess Keith is afraid of Veronica saying more about the Lilly Kane case that could put Alicia in. I don't know. It's all public record.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah. I'd want to sit Alicia down. I would want to, if I'm Alicia, like you said, I would want to know. I'd be like, yo, that's interesting. Oh shit. I'm working for like an evil corporation.
Or like, I want to know why you sent the bug in. I also thought there was going to be a scene of her talking to Wallace, but they kind of handle it in a different way. But yeah.
Yeah. So Keith comes into Veronica's room and he's like, hey, good news. Duncan's home. I brought him back. I found him. And Veronica's like, I'm sorry that I bugged Clarence Weidman. And Keith's like, no, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. But what I am worried about is, so when I returned Duncan to Celeste, she said something about like, you made a deal with her and that I should ask you about it. Like, what's that deal? And Veronica goes, well, I told her that I would help her find Duncan if she let Weevil go. And Keith goes, yeah, but I mean, I didn't know about that. And she's going to pay the reward, right? She's just kidding. Right? She's going to give me the reward money. And Veronica goes, I don't know, man. She's a witch.
She's a witch that you made a deal with. Like, you make a deal with the devil. What do you...
Veronica made that deal. Keith did not make that deal.
Veronica works for Keith's investigation place. It counts. If it was someone else, sure. It's no way.
Show me that in writing.
Show you that in writing?
If I'm Keith, I'm suing her.
Good luck.
There wasn't.
You can't afford to sue her. Well, you think Cliff? You think Cliff's gonna beat those lawyers?
Loretta Cancun's gonna come in, raise a ruckus.
Plus, the history he already has with like false accusations against the Kane family. That thing's getting thrown out quick.
Dude, there's so much evidence that he did what was necessary for the reward, and she has no evidence that they made a deal, that her and Veronica made a deal.
Yeah, but the fact that she could say Veronica would have to go under oath or something and say that they didn't make the deal. So she would have to lie.
But then she could say that my dad had nothing to do with that.
But then the deal was, did you know where Duncan was? She would, because her deal would say, she would say no. Then they'd be like, so you lied when you made your deal about helping find. So because Celeste held up her end of the bargain by not pressing charges. Did you, Veronica, hold up your end of the bargain?
There was no paperwork. You can't prove it. There's no paperwork.
I don't think finding
that deal would not hold up in court.
I don't think you get this much money for information about stuff is a legally binding contract either. A post saying that, oh yeah, any information about finding Duncan, you get $50,000 is not legally binding.
Putting out a reward notice that if you return Duncan.
I don't think you brought up the Luigi guy. I don't think they paid that person. They definitely didn't pay that person. I remember that was a whole controversy. That's what I'm saying. Well, there was some kind of like clause where she had to, she called the police instead of like the tip hotline. And they were like, well, we don't have to pay you because you didn't call the tip hotline. Yeah, I mean, I think Keith is a bit more careful than that lady. She was a fucking like McDonald's employee. That's insane if you have to call the tip hotline. Like, everyone knows that person. That's what I'm saying. If that in real life case. But that's the government. That's not a private citizen being like, here's a reward for finding my son. Yeah, it being a private citizen makes it even less likely that you can have ramifications for it. She made the deal. I'm bringing Keith in. The deal. Or bringing Cliff in. Cliff and Keith. I'm just saying, you do not go for... Do not try to sue the Kanes for this money. You need to get away from tying your family to the Kanes. Like we're way past that, Vance. We're way past that. The family is tied together, my dude. Yeah. This is a weird episode, man. This is a weird show. But yeah. So he's like talking to Veronica, and he's like, maybe you should get a different job, sell clothes or something. I don't know if this is the life for you. And Veronica's like, I love working for you. If I didn't work for you, I never could have made it through this last year. And if it wasn't for you, I would have never made it past this last year. And Keith goes, if it wasn't for me, you never would have had to. And I was like, damn, good writing right there. How is Duncan being back not a bigger deal? Yeah. How is the missing son of the billionaire that runs the town not a bigger deal that he's back? Or at school, hey, where is he? How is this not a big deal? How is the school president, the class president? Yeah. Varsity soccer captain. Soccer season's just long over. That is true. He's probably playing lacrosse now. Spring sports, baby. Yep. Now he's more of a baseball guy. Yeah. So next day at school, Veronica goes up to Casey Gant and she's like, hey, dude, what's going on? And he's like, nothing much. And she goes, hey, weird question. Do you remember Shelly Pomroy's party? He's like, yeah, that was like a fucking year ago. And she's like, yeah. Do you remember seeing me there? What can you tell me about it?
And then he tells his version of what happened. And his version is that Dick Casablanca was the one who was like pulling her onto the couch and kissing her. Mm-hmm. And she climbs off of Dick and she tries to kiss Casey. Casey turns her down. And that's like all he remembers about the party, basically, from that scene. And Veronica's like, you don't remember anything else? And he's like, hey, look, dude, maybe you shouldn't try to uncover what happened at that party. And Veronica's like, why? Did you see something else? He's like, all right, I did see something else. And it was her being like 25% conscious, but Dick Casablancas and his cronies were like force feeding her shots. And they try to get her to make out with Shelly Pomroy, who's now on top of Veronica, mounting her, about to like smooch. And Veronica is like, and so they were force feeding me shots and trying to get me to make out with this girl, and you just let that happen to me? And Casey's like, not my problem.
This isn't behavior that I would assume at a party where everyone hates this person, you know? Like, this isn't like when you're like a pariah in town and kicked out of the 09ers, it seems like they're just like, oh, like it just seems like she's drunk at a party and they're like taking advantage more so than like what they're doing is wrong. Like, let me just state that. But it doesn't have the sting of, I hate your family. What are you doing here? You know, like if Weevil showed up with his like a PCHers, they would get more of a like, what are you doing here? We don't want you here. Veronica like can walk around the party. People like her. People know her. Like she's still, I don't know. It's not like she's not like being shunned. Like there's not like a bunch of girls that are coming up and being like, what are you doing here, Veronica? You know, you're not like like there's none of that part of the thing. And I know that's not what they're focused on, but that party was her being like, fuck it, I'm going to go to this party regardless. But we're not getting that like push back.
I feel like the word shun is like that. I feel like if she's at this party, it'd be more like, you know, when you're like try to join a circle of people talking and then they just like close it in front of you.
The silent treatment is something that really just like drives people crazy.
I feel like it'd be more like they're trying to get her to feel uncomfortable so she leaves rather than get her to make out with everyone at the party.
Like what they did with Yolanda after she kissed Logan and then Lilly just iced her out.
Cut him off.
Yeah. It's really weird when the person who's throwing the party is Shelly, who should probably be at a high level of 09ers. And now you got her, like, you're getting her to make out with Veronica at her own party at her house.
Like, what is that going to do for Shelly?
Like, I mean, you know, that doesn't seem like you're just the most outcast person at that place. That seems like high school nonsense, high school underage drinking nonsense.
Yeah, I could see that, like, if Veronica herself was drinking like that, and then they're like, maybe you and Shelly could, but like Shelly's on top of Veronica while Dick and Beaver and Luke are like just pouring shot after shot after shot into her face, and Veronica's just like, like I just don't know.
There's not enough shunning, I would say, of Veronica.
Yes,
at the party. That's what
absolutely.
That's it.
You're 100%. I'm in agreement with you, 100% there. So then it's school again, and Veronica's cleaning out her locker, and she's like actually cleaning it. She's like cleaning it with like whatever that spray, fucking
disinfectant spray. Joe's never cleaned anything.
Yeah, I don't know what cleaning is. Disinfectant. Pine Sol. I just got the smell in my nose, and I was like, Pine Sol. Fuck yeah, dude. That shit smells so good. But anyway. So Wallace shows up, and she's like, hey, dude, I'm sorry for having you bug Clarence Weedman. And Wallace is like, it's no big deal. I knew that it wasn't just a plant that you were having me to deliver to this guy. Like, I knew that you were doing something. And when you tell me not to ask questions, I don't ask. And it's fine. I never ask why. But this one time, I'm going to ask why. So Logan apparently used one of the absence slips that I gave you, the phony absence slips.
Tardy slips, but yeah.
Tardy slips to the other day. And I just want to know why he's using that and how he got it. And this guy like doesn't know anything about me. He doesn't even know my name. Why am I helping him? And Veronica's like, I needed to ask him some stuff about his missing mom still. And Wallace is like, all right, I see you. Sure. Yeah, it's nice to know why exactly. And he slams his locker because he knows that she's fibbing.
Yeah, he's like something like, I just don't want to be the chump or something like that.
Yeah.
I really did like him saying, I do all this weird stuff for you because like you're my friend, but like I'm not messing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I don't ask why, but like, I'm going to ask why on this one. She lies to him and he's like, okay. You don't respect me.
She just
All
can't.
right.
She just can't. Yeah, I mean,
she's got to keep that smooching under wraps. Got to keep it on the DL.
Yeah, they do such a good job of keeping it on DL by flaunting it.
Yeah, Logan chasing after her in front of everybody.
He like mushes Dick Hasselblank's face. Hey, yeah, surfboard, whatever. I got to go talk to that girl that we don't like, apparently.
Yeah, let me get into a loud shouting match with Weevil.
Yeah.
So much so that a teacher shows up the one time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Wallace walks away and you kind of see Veronica like, oh man, I fucking lied to him. I shouldn't have done that, but I can't tell him, but I feel bad about this.
She's juggling so many lies, though.
Yeah. So then we have Veronica going to her next interrogation. I don't know what was happening before this.
This is insane, dude. I just looked at my notes and it reminded me of what happened on screen.
Yeah. So this is a guy named Sean. And Sean was sitting like cool teacher style, like face to face with somebody else.
Isn't Sean the guy who was at the poker night that stole the money?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy that all of these characters from previous episodes are like coming back.
Oh yeah, no, it's a great menagerie of all the characters,
Yeah, they all like still kind of play a part, like because
it's murder mystery. It's like a murder mystery unraveling.
Yeah. Because I mean, throughout the season, we've seen like a bunch of random ass people, and we're like, oh, I guess we're never going to see that person again. But lo and behold, here they are. So yeah, Sean is like face to face with some other girl doing.
I think it's a guy. It's a guy. I think
it's a guy.
Yeah, I think she walks in and just pushes a guy out of the way, and then sits down in front of Sean. And the guy doesn't like turn back and go, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, guy just leaves, and Veronica's like a millimeter away from Sean's face.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Hey." I feel like you probably have the quote here.
She just brings up the Shelly girl on girl action.
Yeah, she says something about like, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I was thinking about going with Shelly Pomroy and getting some hot girl on girl action going. And Sean looks like,
Again, I went to high school at some point. That would be all over the school.
Yeah.
The day after,
I mean, it is. Her reputation's ruined.
Yeah, but like, how is her reputation ruined? But Shelly's, I don't even think that would ruin their reputation. Like, did you see when the two girls made out at the party? Like that's.
We should invite them to our party.
Yeah,
maybe
Shelly,
do it at
Shelly
our party.
throws the best parties. Like, no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
But yeah, so
I understand
she's
Madison
like,
spreading the rumors though, because she saw him making out with her boyfriend. So,
but so then Veronica starts grilling Sean, like, what happened that night? Sean plays dumb. She's like, yeah, I know that you had GHB or whatever. And Sean's like, it wasn't me. It was Dick Casablancas. So we get Sean's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a flashback to Dick carrying Veronica to the guest bedroom of Shelly Pomroy's house.
After he's carrying across the threshold because he got married, right?
Yeah.
Somebody was
This is
ordained.
all
Yeah, somebody was
romantic
ordained.
and consensual.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's carrying her to the bed. He drops her on the bed. And it's Sean and Beaver who are in the room with Dick. And it seems like Sean and Beaver are like, yo, dude, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And Dick's like, come on, man. Isn't she like a hot piece of ass? He starts like kind of lifting up her skirt. And he's like, whatever, man. She's here. And they're like, yeah, but she's unconscious. And Dick's like, who gives a fuck? And so Dick gets up and he's pressuring Beaver into hooking up with Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yo, Beaver, you first. You enjoy it. And Beaver sits down next to Veronica on the bed. And then Dick gives him a condom. And he's like, here, you want to use this because you don't know where the fuck she's been. And Beaver's like, oh, okay. And then we go back to present day and Sean's like, so I didn't do anything. If you got beef with anybody, it's Dick and Beaver. They're to blame.
Yeah. Dick's like trying to get his younger brother to like lose his virginity to Veronica there somehow.
Yeah, it's
according to this flashback.
Yes. So then Veronica, she grabs Dick's surfboard that we saw earlier in the episode, and she has it under her car. And she's
under the
like,
tire of her car that she's got the engine revving.
She's about to run it over. And she's like, oh, Dick, why don't you come on over here? I've got some questions for you. She's being so loud about this. I mean, and there's a lot of people outside too.
Yeah.
Because this would be a scene.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a surfboard, revving her engine, screaming for Dick Casablancas.
No, when she calls out the guy that made fun of Mandy, that's when the crowd forms. And they go, oh, shit, that's that Veronica girl. She gave him the business.
Yeah, that's true. That's
just Dick Casablancas and a girl revving her engine over a cool surfboard. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
So Dick eventually sees all this going on and he comes over and he's like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you, you crazy bitch? And Veronica's like, not the smartest strategy, the girl that's got your surfboard that's going to run it over, but I got some questions for you about Shelly Pomroy's party. And Dick's like, what about it? And she's like, you drugged me, you gave me GHB. And Dick's like, no, I didn't. And we get Dick's version of this flashback. Mm-hmm. And Dick's like, I found you in the guest bedroom with Beaver, and I didn't bring you there. And his flashback is Veronica with Beaver in the guest bedroom, like about to hook up. And Veronica's the one that's like kind of pursuing Beaver, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what his flashback of it is.
Yeah.
He's like, I just came in on that. Like, I didn't fucking bring you in there. I didn't drug you. I didn't do any of this. And then Veronica's like, not adding up, Dick. And then just like runs over his surfboard and it explodes. And Dick's like, oh, what, dude?
They're going to need that $50,000 now.
But Dick is like, if there's anybody that you want to talk to, it's Beaver. My classic sidekick, because we're Dick and Beaver.
Yeah, he's related to. They're both Casablancas, I think. Aren't they?
Beaver's his brother?
Yeah, I think so.
I did not pick up on that.
Yeah,
but could be. Beaver Casablancas. Obviously, Beaver's not his real name, but
no.
So Veronica, she finds Beaver now, and she's like, she does that thing again where she's like, so you were hooking up with me in the guest bedroom, huh, Beaver? And Beaver immediately knows what's up. He is immediately sad. He like closes his locker and he's like, that's not what happened. And Veronica's like, well, then why don't you fucking fill me in on what happened? And Beaver's like, nothing happened. And then we get a flashback to what Beaver's story is. And Beaver's story is that Dick was pressuring him into doing something with Veronica, but he didn't want to do anything. Like Dick was like, hey, take the condom. You don't know where that skank has been or whatever. And Beaver's like, I don't
actually,
know, man.
in this one, it's the other guy, Sean.
Oh, Sean.
Sean
yeah.
is giving it to him. And
you're right.
It's Cassidy Beaver Casablancas.
All right. Confirmed. So, yeah, Sean gives him the condom. You don't know where that skank has been or whatever. Dick was like pulling up her skirt. As soon as Sean and Dick leave, Beaver like pulls down her skirt and he's like, okay, she's like unconscious. I am not going to hook up with her. Good on you, Beaver, if this is true.
Yeah.
So Beaver is like, and that's what happened, dude. And Veronica's like, what? He's like, well, yeah, I mean, Dick was trying to hook me up with this freshman Cindy because, let's be honest, like this girl Cindy is apparently pretty easy. And Dick's just trying to get me to lose my virginity. So I was supposed to hook up with Cindy, but Cindy was like all over Logan. And I was like, I don't want to hook up with Cindy. And she left with Logan. So that's when Dick like started to take advantage of you. And he's like, oh, you should just like hook up with Veronica. And then we get another flashback.
Wait, before we get to this other flashback, Veronica hears that Cindy left with Logan. And she has that little pang in her, the same way she had that pang in her face when she heard about the surfing babes Mexico vacation.
Yeah.
Where she's like, Logan left with some other girl a year ago when I didn't know that I liked him and also was dating my friend who was murdered.
Yeah.
And this also made me think about Logan's line, which we saw in the recap, where he talks about not feeling bad about moving on from Lilly. That takes another hit when you find out he left with Cindy at this party a year ago.
Yeah, and then was dating Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That line is such a player line. If it was more about like, I wouldn't, if they just tweaked that line where it's like, I wouldn't feel so bad about hooking up with you because you were her friend, that would kind of make sense. But he's breaking all kinds of bro codes also on top of this.
Oh, yeah, yes. But, so then we go back to that flashback and like Beaver like is kind of, he asks Veronica like, hey, are you all right? And Veronica's like passing out. And so then Beaver runs out of the room and pukes all over Carrie Bishop's shoes.
He says that even though he kind of didn't, but yeah.
Yeah, no, she was pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but
whatever.
He's got the alcohol poisoning,
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that's kind of where his flashback ends. And then Veronica's like, so nothing happened. He's like, dude, I promise you, nothing happened between you and me. The last time I saw you, you were passed out on the bed. And Veronica punches him in the arm. And she's like, well, thanks for leaving me there, you dick.
I get it. But also, I don't know what he's supposed to do in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, if he's puking all over the place, he's kind of dealing with his own shit.
Yeah, I mean, he could defend her and make sure Dick and Sean don't come back there, but I don't think he has the status or the confidence to stand up to his brother and his douchebag friend,
Yeah. I
But,
I think my thing is like,
but like if she's passed out in the guest room where like no one seems to be really going, yeah. I mean,
my thing is more like if he's so drunk that he's barfing all over the place,
he's not in a condition to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be thinking about like I got to get back to defend and protect Sleeping Beauty over here, like
the one that we all shunned but don't seem to shun at all. Like he doesn't seem Beaver seems cool with Veronica throughout all of these. Yeah. And Casey proved that he was a stand-up guy. He was like, I don't want a girl that's like completely drunk and unconscious. And like,
yeah. So I don't really have any beef with Beaver, to be honest with you.
And he gets the punch in the arm.
Yeah, I mean, I get where Veronica's coming from.
I get it, but
yeah, but
my issue is with something that happens later in the episode where this moment feels a little more like, wait, that's what Beaver gets.
Yeah, but yeah, So then we go to Veronica, and Veronica's doing like an incredible deep cleaning of the Mars Investigations office, and Keith comes back and he's like, huh.
That's what I realized.
What's this all about?
That's what I realized. She's trauma cleaning. The locker, I didn't get it, but it's clear. She's trauma cleaning.
Well, I mean, she basically says it in her voiceover.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
I've started to zone out the voiceovers. There's like 2 of them here?
Yeah, it's just like really inconsistent with the voiceover stuff. But yeah, in this scene, she's like talking about how like this is a way to like get through it and the trauma cleaning and everything.
Which she hasn't done ever before.
Yeah, we've never seen this.
It felt like this was going to be something and then she was going to find something because she's cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe they're just clearing off the sets for because the season's almost over.
They're like, oh, we're not going to have our stage hands do it. Let's just get the actress to clean it.
Let's just start breaking down an episode early.
We're not using the set in the finale, right?
Right.
Nah, we don't need it. But Keith comes back and he's like, all right, well, I'll let you do what you're doing. Did I get any messages? And Veronica's like, yeah, you got this message that some package arrived in Vegas. And Keith is like, okay. Well, I'm leaving. Maybe you should find somebody's house to stay at. And she's like, no, I'm going to stay here. I'll be fine. Keith's like, okay. And Keith kind of looks sad, but he's like, I got to go.
Yeah, he says he's got to go to deal with this entertainment lawyer case in Vegas that that's come up a couple times throughout the season.
Yeah.
And I wrote in my note, now he's worried about Veronica being left alone. He was just going to Mexico and Cuba.
He was in Mexico, Cuba. He's been staying at Alicia's house like every single night, apparently. She's been alone a lot.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's noticing the cleaning. It's like she's got some problems, but it didn't seem, I don't know.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it feels like he would notice that if that's like a thing that she does, you know?
And she's not your average 17-year-old. So
no, of course not. No. But speaking of dads not noticing things, we have a scene. Logan comes home and Aaron is there and he's like, yo, Logan, Log Dog, how's it going, pal? Making a great dinner for everybody tonight. We're making crab cakes. It's going to be fantastic. And Logan's like, I hope that you know where the nearest hospital is because I'm fucking allergic to shellfish, my dude. He's making all kinds of hand gestures. And Logan's like, can't believe that you didn't know that. And Aaron's like, oh, fuck, I forgot. I just got you and Trina mixed up. And Logan goes, no, I'm the one that's allergic to shellfish. She's the one that's allergic to work. And you didn't forget. You never knew. And Aaron's like, yo, dude, like, where's this coming from, man? Like, coming in real hot here.
Are you so mad that I kind of forced your mom? When are you going to get over that, guy?
And so Logan's like super pissed. Logan's like, yeah, you don't know fucking shit about me, dude. Like, you don't know anything. You're a terrible father. And Aaron's like, I am not a terrible father. I know a bunch of shit about you. And then Logan goes, all right, question 1 in the how well do you know your son quiz. When's my birthday? And Aaron's like, February. The whole month.
Dude, it's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum that you need to know about your kid. How do you not know his birthday? Like, that is egregious.
I do like that he tries to be like, of course I know. It's February.
Jeez.
Oh, man. And then Logan's like, wow. Well, you got a vowel. You got a vowel correct. And he starts to walk away. And Aaron forcefully grabs him by the arm and spins him. And I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's one of these episodes.
I don't know where they're going sometimes with Aaron. I thought they were trying to rehabilitate, go back. I don't know what they're doing with this character.
I thought that he and Logan were like kind of cool. I guess this shellfish thing kind of triggered it.
Yeah, someone on Discord mentioned that because I brought up that whole like he seems kind of cool with his dad a little bit when they're having that like they didn't take him as like talking about his dad going to class and stuff as him getting over it. I didn't necessarily think that line was him getting over it, but he wasn't talking about it with such vitriol that you would think he would. And then when his dad like helps him out, they kind of had that look of like, oh, I'll take this to her. And he's like, oh, okay. My dad's doing me a solid. Like it was like a weird, like he said father knows best 2 episodes ago, which is crazy. And he was smirking and he go on a romantic walk and talk afterwards with Veronica. Yeah. So I thought they were trying to do something with Aaron a little bit, but I don't know where they're going with this character.
And can I be real? My parents forget about all the shit that I like and don't like all the fucking time.
They don't forget
especially
your birthday,
food. Though. They don't forget my birthday.
Yeah, that's the bare minimum.
Also, the stuff that I like and don't like, it's not like a life and death situation.
It also changes. You also live across the country.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I haven't lived at home in over 10 years.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, that's fine.
But so Aaron grabs Logan by the arm. He spins him around. He's like, hey, man, I don't know where this attitude's coming from, but you're fucking pushing it, bro. You are fucking pushing it. you do not want to fuck with me.
I got this apron on and everything. I'm trying.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying. Does that not count for anything?
He says I'm committed to this family, and I wasn't sure why.
He's like, I gave up the industry. I'm committed to this family. And Logan's like, yeah, I mean, I guess that counts for something, but I'll let you know. Once I turn 18 and mom's inheritance comes in.
Pew, pew, pew. He does so many hand gestures.
Once I get pow, pow, pew, pew. It's bon voyage.
He's like, does so many gestures.
Does he put on sunglasses too? I think he does.
I don't know if he puts the sunglasses finger point at the funeral was always the best. But
yeah,
I don't know why Aaron is trying to say he's committed to this family when Trina, I don't even know where she lives. I guess she lives there. I guess not.
She in Australia again?
Yeah. And then it's just Logan, your bum fight son, who's about to turn 18. So what are you committed to again? Where's the housekeepers? Like, where's the help? I know you're not cleaning the house, the mansion. And also, Logan, you're not gonna be able to leave with $100,000. His lifestyle is not built for him to last off that money at all.
What are you talking about? Troy left with $8,000 worth of steroids. He's fine. He's doing good. Duncan left. He's in Havana, Cuba. He started a new life for himself.
Logan's gonna spend half of that on a car.
He's already got a car. He's got that yellow Nissan.
Yeah, but who knows when he runs into Weevil or somebody that's gonna wreck it, or even maybe his bro might wreck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just like he's like, yeah, you know what? I grew up as a multi-millionaire kid with like credit cards. I think I'm just gonna take this $100,000 and live out.
Privileged child of a actor.
Yeah.
I mean, he is getting like his ass beat, but like that's neither here. He's lived a cushy life.
But besides the physical abuse and awful parenting, yeah.
Money wise, cushy life. Belt whippings, not so cushy.
Also interesting, I have to think about when Aaron tells Veronica, hey, I like what I see with Logan when he's with you. I notice a change. What are we supposed to take from that? Because Aaron doesn't seem like he's perceptive at all. But was that a line to say that Logan wasn't a bad guy and told Lilly? Because dude, I would think Logan's issues would stem from his abusive family life, less so from like. And I think the Lilly murder could like push it over the edge. But I don't know.
Bon voyage. Dude, when he says bon voyage and leaves and Aaron's left there looking like, oh, fuck.
I got to eat all these crab cakes?
Yeah. Who's going to eat all these crab cakes? And you just know those crab cakes are going to be trash.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This coming from two Marylanders.
Yep.
Those California crab cakes are going to be garbage.
Trash.
So we then have Veronica moving on to her next interrogation, and it's Carrie Bishop, Leighton Meester. And she goes to her like coffee shop, and she's like,
"This is is it a coffee shop or a bar? Is that fancy place they went to where they interviewed that lady? It looked like a bar almost. But remember, they went to that coffee shop that looked like a bar when they interviewed the lady who had seen Logan's mom.
Yeah,
it looks like it's that place. That's I don't know. I don't think she
goes
could
to interview.
I don't think she could
work.
technically work at a bar because she still should be probably 17.
Yeah.
18. She's like behind the bar too, so probably not. Yep.
Yeah. But Veronica's like, I'll have a drink and I also will have some answers to some questions about Shelly Pomroy's party. And Carrie's like, yeah, sure. I'll tell you what the fuck you ever want to know. And we get a flashback. She's like, yeah, I saw you at the party. You were hooking up with this guy. And Carrie Bishop's walking past the guest bedroom.
Mm-hmm. I love that they keep being like the guest bedroom.
Yeah. And she sees Veronica about to hook up with a dude. She's ripping off his tank top. It's getting hot and heavy, and Carrie looks at it and she's like, all right, keeps on walking. Or no, she says, you could at least close the door, and then she closes the door.
Yeah. Now,
in this scene, could you tell who it was?
I probably no, I didn't. This wasn't where I actually got it. Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I could not tell who this person was that Veronica was hooking up with. His back was to the camera and everything, and I was just like, "What is this?"
I gotta give Carrie Bishop a little. Well, she would have, as we know, she's the gossip queen, right?
Yes.
So she would have
huge bitch though.
Huge
for
bitch.
telling the truth.
Telling the truth, and then also
standing up for,
and then also
a girl that was being statutory raped,
and telling the truth about Duncan having mental stuff to her friend, not gossiping like to like the random people, just talking to her friend privately in a bathroom.
Yeah.
And then here she's giving real information. Like, this is the most solid lead you got. Like, and did she not? I don't think did she tell other people about this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
she could have. She's the gossip queen.
Like, her reaction when she walks past the door is that like, oh shit, I got some juicy gossip. She was like, oh, close the door. Like, that's what it was. You know?
It was more like, ew.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we can't really see who it is, but we find out in the next scene.
Oh no, because she says who it is. That's what happens. Carrie Bishop says who it was. Here, she says, "Well, I'll let you go." Yeah.
So, Veronica arrives at the Kane household. Duncan answers.
How did she know Duncan would answer?
Right?
How is this the first time anyone has seen Duncan since he's gotten back into town?
Yeah. Duncan answers. He's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And Veronica's like, welcome back home. You better tell me everything you know about Shelly Pomroy's party. And Veronica's got like tears in her eyes. And Duncan's like, I don't know. I don't really remember a lot from that night. And Veronica goes, Carrie Bishop told me that you were naked and on top of me in the guest bedroom. Tell me what happened. You raped me. And Duncan goes, what the fuck are you talking about? So I'm a murderer and a rapist now. What else you got for me? What else you going to accuse me of? And then he says, I thought that we had an unspoken rule about never talking about that night again. And Veronica's like, what? What are you talking about? And then we get a flashback of Duncan in bed with Veronica, and he's petting Veronica.
He does not look inebriated or under the influence at all. He looks too...
I will say he looks weird.
He looks weird, but he doesn't look... No, I get you. He looks real like creepster level.
Looks like chummy. Like he's like,
oh, it's my pal Veronica in bed. But it's not like, oh man, dude, I'm drunk and it's a weird performance.
So he starts petting Veronica. Veronica wakes up and he's like, hey, how are you? And then they like start cuddling. And Duncan, we go back to present day, and Duncan's like, you really don't remember any of this? And Veronica's like, no, I don't remember any of this at all. What? And Duncan's like, well, yeah, I mean, like, we hooked up. And Veronica's like, well, then why did you leave me there in the morning if this was like so romantic and sweet? Why would you leave me alone in the guest bedroom, like looking for my underwear? And Duncan goes, because I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there. And Veronica's like, why? And he goes, because I realized what we did. We had sex. And Veronica goes, but it was consensual, right? So why was it wrong? And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
This is where this scene is something that just... Yeah,
This is a scene where you can go like line by line and be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, we'll dive into it, but yeah, you can just keep going.
But she goes, so if it was so sweet and romantic and consensual, why is that wrong? And Duncan screams at the top of his lungs, because you're my sister and I knew it. Celeste told me about it and I tried to cut you out of my life, but I couldn't because I love you so much and it just wouldn't go away. And I just, And then Veronica's crying her eyes out. Duncan's crying. And then they look over and Celeste is just in the driveway, like picking up the newspaper, like, whoop.
Like, oh boy.
Veronica sees her and she's crying and she just walks away.
Yeah, she's got the arms crossed. She's crying, and she's so tiny. You just want to give her a hug, and she's walking away. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, this is a lot. And there's like logistical stuff about it, but then there's like the emotional stuff about it.
Yeah.
And compartmentalizing both of those. Logistically, finding out that you had sex with Duncan, you would think would be more of a relief.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, we had sex. I didn't have sex with Dick Casablancas. Someone did.
Beaver or Sean.
Or some random dude that just stumbled into that room.
Or Shelly or...
Yeah. Well, Shelly, she might be like, hey, let's hang out, you know? Shelly, are you going to throw another party? You haven't thrown a party in a year. We always talk about the one from last year. What's going on? Are you throwing another one this summer? What's happening? Yeah, it's been over a year because it was like last Christmas or last December. We're back in spring.
Oh, yeah, it was December, yeah.
Get back on the horn, Shelly.
I mean, I guess it could be. Yeah. Wow, it was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 2003, December 7th.
Yep. But yeah, so she finds out that Duncan did it, and she's coming off of like having dated him. I don't know how long they've been broken up, maybe a month or two. Who knows, right? Mm-hmm. So that's okay. But you also know the brother thing. So when she says, well, it was consensual, right? Like she's crying, and he's like, wait, is that your big, like, that's your takeaway now? Like she's like, okay, I want to make sure I was not raped. And he's like, yeah, it wasn't that. And it's like, okay. But then he drops the sister. But then he drops the sister thing. But she already has that information.
Yeah, she has that. She doesn't have that information. She has that suspicion.
She has enough information from Abel Kuntz and her mom confirming that she doesn't know that And the fact that she threw up when she first heard about it. Yet we also have seen her like look longingly at him still.
Well, also Celeste came into the office and was talking about like every time I look at you, I think of Jake's infidelity and all that. It's like she's got
multiple sources
bevy of evidence. Yeah. That points in that direction.
Even the flashback of Lilly being like, you don't even want to know why he broke up with you. Like there's everything pointing to, even if there's a chance that you guys might be brother and sister, you should probably call it off. That's
but I more like her concern about like it was consensual. She was still drugged, and like it seems like Duncan was wasted,
but she can't ask someone else if it was consensual with herself. Like you need a third party to be like, was it consensual? Like she can't consent.
Yeah, like neither Duncan nor Veronica remember this night, except for when Duncan wants to say that he does.
Yeah, I think the beginning of this scene when she knocks on the door and says, "Hey, that party, you remember?" He's like, "I don't know, I was really drunk that day." Like he reacts as if that was what she was talking about. Not like she's coming at his door with a lot of energy and pent upness, and he thinks, what does he think she's about to question him about? And he's like, "Yeah, I was really drunk that day."
I mean, also when he's like, "I don't remember," and Veronica's like, "That seems to be a growing trend with you," or whatever. It seems to happen with you a lot. Like mentioning like he doesn't remember the 3 days between like when Lilly was murdered or whatever.
But then he fully remembers this.
Yeah, he's like, "We had an unspoken rule. We had consensual sex. I held you through the night, and then I had to leave because you're my sister." Like, maybe, I guess he was lying about not remembering it. But based on what we find out later, like, there's some... You can't say this was consensual. I don't know. It's that weird thing, too,
I would think in his... If she would have woken up next to him, everything would have been fine. In her eyes.
Fair.
That's
she would have been like, "Oh, what happened last night?"
It's like, "Yeah, we had sex." She's like, "Oh, wow, okay." Like, so she doesn't remember it. He
still not the best way to lose your virginity.
No, not at all. Not at all. But it's definitely a lot. It's something to wipe. It's something that you can like. She's had that trauma for a year and a half or so, but now she can kind of move past and like she now knows what exactly happened. The problem with the brother level of it is real fucking weird, to the point where now I don't think the show has the guts to go forward.
That's what I was gonna say. They're definitely not. They're not brother and sister.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
They can't do it. The show won't do it.
Yeah,
because we talked about this last episode where we were hoping, oh, maybe she just like the underwear was down, but nothing happened to her. And it started to get to the point where I thought that might be what happened still.
Yeah.
But then they add this layer, which if they're brother and sister is super creepy for us to be watching and that you've been playing with the whole season.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be like, when she's like, "But it was consensual." When she says, "But what is it? It's consensual, right?" It was like, what? If he says no, you're going to be more upset. And if he says yes, you're going to be okay. Like, I was like, what? Like, I get that you want to just check off not raped on the checklist, but the brother thing is so also creepy. And the fact that this guy just left and was found in Cuba because you thought he killed Lilly.
Yep.
Like, there's so much that,
So, oh, okay. So at least I wasn't raped by the potential murderer.
And still need to find out if he's a blood relative. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. That checklist is just brutal.
Him screaming that because you're my sister and I knew it, Celeste told me, I was like,
that felt really...
They're not related. Yeah.
That felt real. That felt real scripted too.
Yeah, that ain't it.
And I know Celeste is a bad person. But I don't think Celeste would be wrong to tell Duncan that she might be his sister. And that would be hard that would be hard for her to do too. Because it's like, hey, you know your dad that you kind of like and respect. I don't know where the timeline is.
Yeah.
Well, he had an affair with your girlfriend's mom, and she might actually be your sister. So you should probably back up. That's a lot better than what Veronica's mom did, which was drop a plate and then send him off to the homecoming dance. I mean, I guess Celeste was a part of that too, but you could see her being like, this fucking sucks. I can't let this go on. You got to stop it before they go to a dance that might lead to sex. You just have to.
Yeah. In that regard, I don't blame Celeste.
No, not
to be like,
you have to
stay away.
You have to say that. I mean, it's because she might not know definitively, but there's too much of a risk.
Yeah.
And that makes sense why Duncan would have been choking his dad when Logan saw him, because he would have been like, I can't believe you did this. The girl I love, it might be my sister because of you, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that was that scene.
Nitpick. Where did Keith think Veronica was that night? I know she comes home. I forget the first episode, but she kind of like goes to the police station and then she goes home and she
comes home without her shoes. She's walking with her shoes in her hand. She's like, I can't tell my dad about this.
Yeah. I would be terrified that Lamb would say something.
Oh, yeah. Who do you want me to arrest?
Oh,
where's your evidence?
Which rich family in Neptune should we pin the blame on? Meanwhile, they're retconning that Keith was like, I don't know who did it. I just know it wasn't Abel Koontz. Like, dude, you said it was J.K. Just...
Yeah.
Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees.
Brittany, this is not a democracy, it's a cheerocracy.
We're watching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s.
I burn, I pine, I perish.
And diving into the pop culture moments that defined a generation.
I see dead people.
As we reminisce about the movies of our youth.
What, like it's hard?
Or to see if your old faves still hold up today.
And one time, at band camp?
Tune in every week for deep dives, behind-the-scenes stories, and a trip down memory lane. As at No More Late Fees, the late fees may be gone, but the memories are here to stay. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just look for
No More Late Fees podcast. And remember, be kind and rewind.
So after this scene, Veronica drives to Wallace's house. And he comes out. He's all chipper. He's like, yo, what's up, dude?
I love the run to the car. I love this little run to the car. It was so perfect. It was 2000s, early 2000s.
It was perfect in the fact that, like, he also has no idea what's up. He thinks he's going to hang out with his bestie.
Which I don't think I've ever seen him have a cool hangout with Veronica. Like, they have never just hung out and it's been good.
Yeah. But he runs up and he like leans on her convertible. He's like, what's good? How's it going?
Yeah.
And Veronica's just staring straight ahead, just tears in her eyes. And he's like, what's up? And then so they go inside and it's like a cut forward in time. And it's basically like Veronica has actually kind of laid out everything to Wallace now. And Wallace is like, fuck. And she's like, yeah. So when I don't tell you why certain things, why I don't tell you why, this is why. And Wallace is like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Two things. His mom overheard all of this. She's like, it's
half a room away.
I know.
Doors open.
They're in bed together. The other thing, what do you think my note says she tells him everything, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think she told him about Logan?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's off screen.
Yeah.
But her telling him everything, that would be a very long scene, though.
I do think she told him about the Duncan. I did the party, all the stuff that we've seen this episode, minus, I don't think she told him about her dating Logan, though. Or hooking with Logan.
I think she might have.
She might have.
I think she did. But
here's what I'll say. They tend to not, the Mars tend to hold a little something back every time they come out with everything. They definitely go, fair. I'm telling you everything, except for this one thing that I'm going to keep secret.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But she's like, all right, well, now that I've just told you my entire life trauma, I think I'm going to go. And Wallace like, yeah, I think you should stay. Like, you should chill a little bit. Like, just relax.
She's like, the plot must go on. I have to keep moving.
And she's like, nah, I'm fine. It just felt good to like get it all out. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I bet, but like, I wish there was something I could do or say, or I don't know, man. I just want to help you. Like, I feel bad now. And Veronica's like, hey, here's some more shit that I'm just going to drop on you. You always talk about how you feel left out and I never tell you why about stuff. Well, I'm going to let you in on this. Here's all of the information about the Lilly Kane murder investigation. Go ahead and peruse that if you want to. I don't give a fuck anymore.
The Lilly Kane murder investigation wallpaper that she has on her computer is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like a picture of the two of them. The text is the Lilly Kane murder investigation, and then there's like 4 folders with names on it. And it's taking up the whole screen.
The fact that she made that wallpaper.
It's the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. It would be like if this was it's kind of what I thought the show would be. Like teen, like crime solving, and it's like Legally Blonde of crime solving, you know? But it doesn't fit her vibe at all anymore.
It reminded me of, I saw a bunch of TikToks about like POV, the inside of a girl's notebook during history class. And it's just like a bunch of doodles around like the Holocaust. Like Veronica taking the time to Photoshop this wallpaper. It's fucking crazy.
Wallpaper. And it just got 4 folders and they like spread in a line.
Yeah. They're spread so far apart too. Yeah. It's like suspects, the interviews, the evidence, and all. I was just like, God. But Wallace takes a look at it and he's like, I don't really care that much. But
and he's like, I never met her.
Yeah. But Veronica's like, all right, I'm going to go outside real quick. She walks out of Wallace's room and takes a turn. And Alicia's there just like cooking something or doing dishes or something. And she's like, hey, I want to apologize to you. I'm sorry for getting you involved with all this stuff. And I hope that doesn't reflect on Keith, because my dad is like the best guy in the whole world. And he's got very strong feelings about you. And Alicia's like, no. I'm worried that I might have ruined things. I hope that I didn't ruin things because I really like him. And I hope that it's like not too late. And Veronica's like, it's knowing my dad, it's not too late. He's still he's still kind of like,
she's like, yeah, I like her. She's like, I hope I didn't ruin it. Like, he's going to Vegas now. I'm like, he went to Mexico and Cuba recently.
Vegas, but that's Sin City though.
Oh, Sin City. You know, Keith. This is a hilarious edit.
Oh yeah. Keith's in Vegas. He's on the phone. You got a close up of his lips next to the phone. Well, he's calling an escort. And he's like, yeah, you want to come on over? What's your rate, baby? Why don't you come to this hotel? And she's like, okay, daddy. He's like, oh yeah, tell me, who's your daddy? I'm glad that has not come back. I thought that was going to be like his running punchline gag thing. Yeah,
I did. Maybe he'll say it again once he gets the DNA results. I honestly thought he was going to Vegas because that's where he had
that's what I thought. I thought that he had the DNA results sent to a separate place.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, that's a little far and extreme, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, because when he gets word that package has arrived, he has this kind of like forlorn look on his face, like, oh man, I'm about to find out something that I might not want to know.
But it's no way they're brother and sister now. The show doesn't have the guts. I dare you, show. I dare you.
They can't do that.
I dare you.
Now that we know that they've had quote unquote consensual sex.
Consensual enough for Veronica to be like, okay.
All right, I'm not filing a police report.
Yeah. I mean, I
I'm
wouldn't.
fine with it. I'll tell Sheriff Lamb, hey, you can lay off that. We don't need to look into that any further.
This is a weird one from like a legal standpoint. If she was to press charges, it'd be a weird one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely like one of those, like it's that weird thing of like if one person's drunk and the others, it's like they can't consent, but if both people are drunk, that's fine somehow.
And the thing about you don't drink at all, but I've been blacked out before. When people are blacked out, like they don't know what they're doing, but they're still doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like he saw her like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Like for him and his perspective, sure, she was probably a little wasted, a little messed up, but it wasn't like she didn't know who he was and he was fully taken advantage of. It wasn't like the flashbacks of what would have happened with Beaver and Sean and them. For him, it's like, oh, that's my ex-girlfriend. We were at a party. We were making out on the bed and it led to, like it's a perspective thing. But like, I think if it's weird. It's weird at the party. It's weird at the party because like, for some reason, he's at the party, but doesn't notice that she's there and doesn't notice that his friends are doing stuff with her. But it kind of gets explained. It kind of it gets explained later. But yeah, so yeah, exactly.
I mean, the explanation later just further makes things like
it muddies the water even more.
From Duncan's perspective, it seems like he was fine. It's like he's like talking to Veronica like he's like, you don't remember?
Yeah, we made definitive plans because I was in my full mental faculties, and I'm like, no, you weren't. How do you remember? From his point of view, though, he was.
Yeah, but how? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done drugs or drank, so I don't know what it would feel like to be on any of this stuff, let alone mixing all of this stuff together. Like yeah, but
a lot of people that do like when guys do ecstasy though, like is a lot of them aren't getting real like sexual with it. Ecstasy is like a boner killer for like it's a party drug and you want to feel stuff and touch stuff, but like people aren't like I'm going to do some ecstasy and just go.
Yeah.
Like the roofie factor for a girl is like they pass out and then the guy can take advantage, but like the guy is not really going to be real raring to go if they take it. It seems.
Yeah, I mean,
from the experiences, I've never done ecstasy, but
I mean that's what Logan kind of explains in that first scene with him and Veronica, where she's like, oh, you wanted to have, because Logan's like, oh, we just wanted to have fun, and she's like, oh, like rape a girl fun, and he's like, no, like go to a rave fun.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, yeah, when you see people dancing, like if you see that It's Always Sunny when they're all up all night and he's getting the pills popped and he's dancing all night, like it's a party. It's more of a party drug than like we're getting drunk and doing blow and banging all night kind of thing.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So Keith's in Vegas on the phone with Nestor.
Drug talk with the boy.
So then we have Veronica. She apologizes to Logan. I don't know where they are.
They're sitting. It feels like they were in somebody's waiting room.
Yeah, it felt like this is gonna sound weird, but it looked like they were like in the waiting room of like a funeral home or something. Like it's just this weird void.
Yeah, I tell you, they might be clearing out the sets. This is the same day, right?
I guess so.
Insane to me. Even if this is the day later, it's still kind of insane. But I feel like this is the same day.
Things happen fast in Neptune, my dude. But Veronica's apologizing to Logan for accusing him of raping her. And Logan's like, yeah, it's all good. But like, I just care about you. Like, I care. And like, did you find something out? And Veronica's like, yeah. And he goes, what is it? And she's like, I had sex with Duncan and it was consensual.
I was scared for a moment that she wasn't going to tell him.
Yeah.
And I was like, please just say it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm here for you, whatever you need. And she's like, I was drugged at the party, but I wasn't raped. I was with Duncan. We were both wasted. And yeah.
I didn't I didn't understand Logan's reaction here at first. It kind of makes a little more sense later. But when she's like, I had sex with Duncan, and he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, she had sex with her ex-boyfriend. Like that doesn't seem the most shocking factor. But
but Veronica's happy that Logan's there, and they're all smitten with each other.
This is too soon.
Yeah. So then we go back to Vegas. So my baby gonna set my soul, gonna set my soul on fire. So the escort shows up at Keith's room. She sachets inside the room.
I love the way Keith is dressed with the
pants, too, dude.
With the like flannel shirt tucked into it's like his plaid shirt.
Jeans. Yeah. And she's got this little black dress on. She's got some kind of gold arm bracelet things. Mm-hmm. And her walk inside was killing me, dude. Like, it was so funny. She sachets in there, and Keith's like, so can I get you anything to eat? You thirsty or anything? And she's like, you paying me to be here kind of defeats the purpose. You don't have to wine and dine me. Like, let's just get to it, my dude. And Keith's like, okay, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want anything to drink? And she's like, no, I want to know what you want. Tell me. And he's like, well, you want to go outside on the balcony? And she's like, you're still going to be married on the balcony. So why don't you tell me what your wife won't do to you, and I'll do all those things for you.
I was like, is he wearing a wedding ring? Did he say he was married? Like, where did that come from? Is that just an assumption?
Profiling this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just like,
you see Keith and you think that's a married man.
But she pulls him to the bed and she sits down, and he sits down next to her, and she's like, why don't you tell me what you want, big boy? And Keith leans into her and he's like, I want to talk about Abel Koontz.
She's like, you're a sick fuck, but all right, you're
She's
paying.
Like, ooh. But she looks shocked, and Keith has like the biggest smirk on his face.
He's the creepiest dude when he's in these situations. When he's honestly, he could be a serial killer. When he has someone in his like sights, the look on his face, the like twinkle in his eye gets so dark.
Yeah, dude. When he's got one up on somebody, he is.
I thought he was going to handcuff her. At one point, I thought he was just going to handcuff her. At one point.
Yeah. But he leans in. I would like to talk about Abel Koontz. Escort's all shocked. And he's like, look, I know that you were with Abel Koontz when Lilly was murdered. I tracked you down. You went through all of these different cities. I tracked you down. It took a year. And I know because Abel called you every week. It was a standing like arrangement. And he was with you when Lilly was murdered. And the escort stands up and she's like, he confessed. He confessed to the murder. I've been trying to get away from this. I've been trying to avoid this. Dude, I've got a son who thinks I'm a stewardess, okay? I don't want anything to do with this. Let Abel Koontz rot. I don't give a fuck. And Keith is like, a girl was murdered. Don't you think that the person who killed her should be the one that's actually in jail, not Abel Koontz? And she's like...
My note says Keith is trying to ruin another mother's life. Honestly, they have... What does her saying that she was with Abel Koontz do that the photographs of the shoes and the evidence doesn't?
I mean, it's going to blow the case wide open, Vance. Don't you know?
But they have to get the case reopened.
Yeah.
I just feel like they have enough evidence to reopen the case but I don't know how reopening a case this big works. I don't think it's not like she can come back and they're like, hey, we got a mistrial. This person who never was on a witness stand recants their statement. She's not even involved in it.
Dude, this is just
plus,
another
plus
piece
there's
of
already
this.
a negative. Plus, there's already negative publicity for Keith coming after Jake Kane. That like now he's like, hey, I found this escort that says she was with Abel. It's like, dude, we're not buying this.
Well, it's also just like this is another piece of the puzzle that's introduced here that we'd never have heard of before. Like
that was never a part of Keith's reasoning. But now, well, this episode now makes it that Keith is like, I don't believe Abel Koontz did it, which he didn't because he believed Jake did it. And Jake was covering it up. But we already have the shoes. The photograph of the shoes at the time at the crime scene and then them being found on a boat later is more than enough to be circumstantial or something. I don't
reasonable doubt.
Something, but that was.
I mean, we
but
also
that's
have the fucking the traffic ticket
that changes the
later in
time
the
of her death. But that's all stuff that needs to come up like in the court. I don't know how this. I just don't think you need to bring this lady into it. Bringing her into it is going to ruin her life.
Yeah,
and it doesn't help. She isn't the smoking gun, is what I want to say. This isn't the smoking gun. The thing that you have to do, and you can't get Abel Koontz to change his story because he got the money already, and he's gonna he's gonna die, and they already gave him the money. So it's like, what is? And Abel Koontz doesn't like Jake Kane.
No,
so
he has resentment towards Jake Kane because of technology stuff.
Because he stole the idea and probably got rich off of his stuff. So he would not willingly help Jake Kane get away with murder for money, even though he knows he's dying. Like I think he as violent and vengeful and possibly abusive this guy was, he'd probably be like, fuck Jake Kane. He's going down because he murdered his daughter. Especially as he's a father of a girl, too. Like, these are a lot of dads with daughters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this isn't a smoking gun that it seems to be because I think the shoes are more damning than this would be.
Yeah, this scene I also just felt like was so random. Like the introduction of this evidence and Keith in Vegas, I was like, Jesus.
You could have I mean, what are you guys going to do with this? Like, I don't know how this.
Yeah. So then we go to Logan and Veronica. They're coming back to the Echolls household. And Logan's talking to Veronica and he's like, yeah, my dad was trying to cook some shit, but I'm allergic to shellfish, but maybe he's cooking something else. Maybe he's going to cook us some, I forget what he says, cook us with candlelight because it's dark in the house.
Why is she going to Logan's house? Why would you go? Why would you go here?
For the plot, Vance.
Your dad is out of town. You have the house to yourself. You have your whole waterbed to yourself.
Yeah.
Why
sloshing around in there?
Yeah. Why are you going to the house of the last time you were here? You watched Aaron Echolls get stabbed. You watched him beat up some guy that was abusing his daughter. Like, what are we doing? You have the place to yourself. That's high school 101.
Yep. But they start making out.
This is insane.
Logan.
There's no way you do this.
Yeah. They're making out as Logan's unlocking the door. They're making out as they stumble inside the house.
They're walking like crabs sideways to walk into the house while still making out. Yeah. No way you do that.
Take a 3-second break.
Check out the surroundings. Open it. What? I know why they do this for the reveal, but it's physically not how someone would do this at all. It's so forced.
Yeah. No, it's 100. Yeah, you're right. They stumble into the house making out. They're not even drunk. That's like if this was like a thing in a TV show where they were like both drunk and they're making out and stumbling inside, like sure, but they're not drunk.
She also accused this man of raping her and found out what she found out hours ago.
They literally, the last scene we see of these two is Veronica discussing like, I was drugged at a party, but I wasn't raped. I was with Duncan. who she leaves out the information, but she just found out that's her brother, according to Duncan.
And
Like, she went from the Kane house to Wallace to Logan's house. What a whirlwind of a day, man.
No, take it. Go to sleep.
Go shower again.
Order a pizza and watch a movie.
Yep. Get some ice cream.
Something.
Take a day.
Yeah.
But no, she's stumbling in the Echolls house, making out with
She's going to
Logan.
go have dinner with Aaron Echolls. With her, like, not even her boyfriend, but a guy she's kissing's dad.
Yeah, on the down low.
No.
Yeah. But they go in, they're making out, and the lights flick on. There's 30 or 40 people in this house. They all shout, "Surprise!" Aaron Echolls has thrown a surprise party. And I wrote, with the entire school there.
Somehow he doesn't know when his son's birthday is, but he can get the contact info for a bunch of his high school friends.
Yeah.
And they have nothing to do that night. Duncan has just gotten back from Cuba and been missing.
Yep.
And they're letting him go to a party?
Yep.
Logan hasn't seen Duncan yet. No, his best friend, the one he's worried about, his ride or die friend, has been missing. Okay.
So Veronica and Logan stop making out. They look around. We see the judgmental faces of every extra that the show could have.
Every character that we've been interviewing, like every character's there. Madison's there. Meg's there with Duncan. All the Casablancas are there.
Yep. And everybody's judging. And Aaron comes over, acts like nothing's wrong.
Dude, it's one of those things where I'm like, did he do this on purpose to fuck with Logan? But he couldn't have, because he wouldn't have known that he was bringing Veronica there. But if he did do it on purpose, it's great psychological manipulation.
Yeah.
But now he's just like a clueless guy again.
He's just jovial.
Last episode, he was like, oh, I know that they want to keep this a secret. This episode, they walk in and he's like, oh, he's not like, oh shit, I didn't know you were going to bring her with you. He's just like, hey.
Yeah.
Beaver and Dick are the same people that you were hiding her from recently.
Yes, dude, that's what I don't get. Where his mind state is when he goes over to Logan. He's like, "Happy birthday! You know, I've been absent for a while. I want to make things up to you." And Logan's like, "Dad, what the fuck, dude?"
He put this party together quick.
Oh yeah, he's got a big old balloon fucking gateway thing. God.
But yeah, he knows that this is a secret relationship.
And the music that's playing underneath of this is just like the most absolute goofy, like sitcom music that's going on. And Logan's like, "Gee, thanks, Dad." And then we get a shot of Duncan. Duncan's just staring a hole. He's basically drooling like, what the fuck? He's shell-shocked.
And Meg is standing next to him. So
yeah, and she's like, hey.
So my thought was, Duncan has come back into town. His mom has just walked in on overhearing him say that he slept with Veronica, and it's weird because it's his sister.
I mean, before that, he was accused of rape.
Yeah, but before that. But then I'm just thinking, like, this is what the rest of his day is. Veronica goes to Wallace's, talks it out, makes up with the mom, then talks to Logan, and then decides to go get some crab cakes from her pseudo father-in-law now. Duncan gets a phone call from Aaron Eccles, not Logan, saying, "Hey, you're back, cool." And he says, "Hey, can you mind rounding up all of?" I'm glad you're back.
Hey, glad you're back. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. I don't know when my son's birthday is, so I'm throwing a birthday party for him tonight, and I need you to round up all of the 09ers. I guess we're all on a text thread that Logan's not on or something. So then Duncan is like, "Well, that was some weird shit with Veronica. oh, well. Hey, Meg, you want to go to this party tonight? By the way, I'm back in town. And then Celeste is like, where are you going, Duncan? He's like, yeah, I'm going to go over to Logan's random birthday party.
Logan's dad doesn't know when his birthday is, so he's throwing him a birthday party tonight. Celeste is like, his birthday isn't for like 5 months.
Hey, do you want to talk about what just happened and what I overheard out front or anything? No, you know what? You go to the party with your girlfriend. You just
Yep. As long as it's not Veronica.
Yeah. Here, take an extra $50,000 for this date. I'm not spending it. I'm not giving it to the Mars family.
And don't
anyway.
forget your medicine. She plops a pill 50 yards away on that kitchen island.
The rattle. Insane that he would be at this party right now with the Meg.
Yeah. But yeah, he cannot believe his eyes. And Meg's like, baby, you all right? You all right?
What do you think, Meg? Did you not feel the vibe in the whole room?
Yeah. So Dick Casablancas, he goes up to Logan. He's like, bro, what are you doing? Tell me this. We don't do quote unquote on Veronica Mars, but if we did, this would be one of mine. He goes up to Logan and goes, bro, what are you doing? Tell me this is some new reality show called My Skank.
Yep.
And Logan turns to Dick and he goes, Dick, get out. And Dick's like, what? He goes, get out of my house. If you have a problem with my girlfriend, shot at Veronica. Shot at Veronica. Wait, what?
I'd be like, did we agree to this? I was accusing him of rape earlier today. Like last night.
If you have a problem with my girlfriend, and you know what? This is a standing invite for any of you. If any of you have a problem with my girlfriend, and if we're not doing quote unquote, but these are some back-to-back quote unquotes. If you've got a problem with my girlfriend, start heading toward the rectangle with the knob.
He's doing less hand gestures there because he has to hold hands with Veronica, which is so
he's
awkward.
Serious. You can tell he's serious.
I feel so awkward for Veronica, but I don't fully. I'm not like it's still part of you, Veronica, because you went. Why are you here? Why are you here tonight of all nights?
But yeah, Logan's like, if you got a problem with this partnership, you're dead to me. So Duncan's still there. He's still like, what the fuck?
So Dick leaves. Dick's like, yeah, she fucked up my surfboard, dude. Like, I can't be privy to this. I'm not going to be a party to this party.
Bro, earlier today she accused me of rape and then ran over my surfboard. Yeah,
she said
I'm not cool with this.
Yeah, she said I drugged her and then ran over my surfboard. I did none of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know how she got into that room technically. Did they carry him? I guess they did carry him because I think I trust Beaver's part of the story.
Yeah, I can trust Beaver.
And I don't like Sean at all. I don't trust Sean, so I believe Sean's the one definitely throwing the condoms and being like, yeah, do it, Beaver.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dick Casablancas, awful person. I think Beaver leaves too. Because I guess Dick's his ride.
Probably because his ride, yeah.
And he's still icing his shoulder from getting punched early.
And then Duncan's leaving. And as Duncan's leaving, Logan's like, hey, man, I got to talk to you. Good to have you back. Let's have a chat.
This is the first time he reacts like, oh, sorry. This is weird that I'm dating the girl that you used to date. Like, this is...
He doesn't need to feel guilty about it, though.
That's the thing. I wish that line would have been more about. I feel like enough times passed and I don't feel guilty dating you, Veronica, even though I still need to clear things up with Duncan.
Yeah.
Duncan. Like, the thing is, Duncan is in this feels the same way how Veronica was in her feels when Meg was dating Duncan. Like, there's no reason for Veronica to feel bad about her possible brother, who she hasn't dated in over a year, being with Meg. Like, emotionally, you can feel some way about it, you know, but logically, no. Now, I think the problem is with Logan is that he doesn't let Duncan know, like, hey, kind of made out with Veronica. Like, you have to, like, you gotta, like, kind of, he can't find out like this. Even if he's not even into her like that. And for Duncan, the whiplash of what just happened at his front door today, to her saying all of that, to like, wait, I just saw you making out with the other guy?
My best friend?
The guy who brought the drugs to the party? You're making out with the guy who brought the drugs to the party. You were freaking the fuck out earlier. Like, that is crazy to see. You'd be like, was that all an act or something? Like, it's no way you're making out with Logan right now.
Yeah.
You got to take a day. You got to take a day off after that. You can't be making out with Logan.
But while Logan starts talking with Duncan, Veronica kind of veers off.
Mm-hmm.
She wanders over, and who's there to greet her but Madison? And Madison's like, so, like, you're dating Logan now?
You're adopted. You were switched at birth.
And Veronica's like, yeah, I guess so. And Madison's like, wow, that's like so cool. Like, it's really, I'm happy for you. And like, this is really nice. Hey, you want something to drink? Here, take this drink. And I wrote in my notes, and Veronica takes it?
I have in bold in my notes, has she learned nothing? If there's one thing that you take away from being drugged at a party, it's that you do not accept open beverages.
Mm-hmm.
Has Keith not even explained that to you before? I know he's supposed to be like, you don't drink, you know, whatever, but she's not the average 17-year-old. But the fact that she just takes, I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're at a kid's 5-year-old birthday party. You do not take an open, like, someone hands you a Dixie cup of lemonade. You're like, nope, I don't trust it. I need bottle caps unopened. I do not understand why she would accept an open drink at this party from an 09er, especially. Just
from the girl who was just so mean to you in the bathroom. Earlier in the episode, it might have been yesterday, but like,
I will say, retroactively, like Madison, we've already seen. She's a mean girl. She doesn't like Veronica. And now we know about this party. We do understand why Madison would not like Veronica. She saw her make out with Dick Casablancas, her boyfriend. Like, that's a reason to not like somebody. It's not deeper than, oh, I don't like you because Keith did something. That's not about that. So from her perspective, before we find out what we're about to find out, Madison has the right perspective to be mad at her the same way Veronica was mad at Bishop. She was so mad at Bishop and like really did not trust that girl from overhearing something in the bathroom, which she already knew to be possibly true. But I know I'm doing a lot of defending of the bad people. I'm just taking perspectives. Madison saw her make out with her boyfriend, so she hates her. That's high school 101.
Yeah. I mean, that you cannot blame her for that.
Yeah.
But how she retaliates, that's
that's
bad.
Yeah.
It's bad stuff.
And it's bad stuff, but yeah, it's definitely bad stuff, but it's not as, it becomes worse because of the unintended consequences. But yes.
Yes. But I mean, my big takeaway from this, when Veronica, I was like, you cannot accept this drink from this girl.
You go to the table and grab another one. You just don't take it.
You can do the thing where you take it and then just dump it out right in front of her and go,
or just,
no, thank you.
Or just straight up hold on to it and just never plan on drinking it. But it didn't seem like she was doing that.
Dude, she was walking over and she was putting it so close to her face. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
So she goes over, I'm just going to say, she goes over to Meg and Meg tells V not to drink it. She's like, it's a trip to the dentist. It's what Madison calls it when she spits in someone's drink that she doesn't like. And then this like triggers something to Veronica be like, oh, one more thing. But there's no way this is the first thing Meg is thinking when Duncan just walked away from her.
Yep.
Also not the first thing she's thinking to say to Veronica when she saw Veronica making out with Logan. I feel like you'd be like, when did you and Logan? Like, it would be so many of those questions before she starts to go. She doesn't even say hi. She goes, I wouldn't drink that. Like, Meg would be upset with Veronica almost in a way. Like, or
Dude,
like,
this is the thing. Logan just said, if you got a problem with me and my girlfriend, you're dead to me. And then Meg's boyfriend walks out of the party. And then Meg is just chilling on a column.
yeah.
Like, when Veronica goes up to her. And, like, you'd go after your boyfriend. He's probably your ride, just like Beaver's. Like,
No, she can get a ride. Remember, Veronica left her at a party. And
true.
and there was party buses out front. You know, Aaron sent party buses to pick up everybody. If you're Meg, you're almost like, let Veronica take a sip of it and be like, oh, you probably shouldn't drink that. Like, Meg doesn't have like any kind of, like, Meg's super nice, but to a point where I don't even need her to be mean, but it seems like she's not reacting to what just happened at the front door.
Yeah.
It seems like she's giving plot leading advice and not being a person. Because how are you not asking Veronica about Logan? That would be insane.
Right? Yeah, that's big news. That's big drama.
Like what Madison said made more sense, where she's like, how long have you guys been dating? Like, that's the, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Meg's like, yeah, don't drink it. She spits in it with the people that she don't like in it. It's a flashback now to Madison seeing.
Well, she confronts Madison about spitting in her drink.
Yeah, she's like, did you spit in my drink at Shelly Pomroy's party? And Madison's like, what? Yeah, I mean, then we get a flashback and it's Madison seeing Veronica making out with Dick Casablancas.
No, it's not. It's her walking into the party.
Oh, right. Yeah, because she's with Dick and she's like, who the fuck invited Veronica Mars?
Yeah. And
Dick's
there
like,
goes a little bit of that shunniness that like we have. And I need like...
That should have happened.
I just need more. I just need a little more shunniness from other people.
But yeah, so Madison spits in Veronica's drink.
I guess she already doesn't like Veronica. Yeah, like from what we saw after, like from what we saw up until this point, it seems like Madison's upset with Veronica because of the makeout. But she already didn't like her even before that.
Yeah. And so she spits in the drink, just kind of like holds a cup behind her back to give to Veronica. And Veronica just walks by and grabs it and starts drinking.
It's so crazy because she walks into a party. Like if Veronica was kind of drunk before she took this drink, it would make some sense. But this is her entering the party. And her voiceover in the first episode of her entering the party is like, these people don't like me.
Yeah. And I'm here to show that I don't care and I'm like still brave and yada, yada, yada.
Why would someone hand you a drink if they don't like you? And she just takes it without looking. The shot is so weird. It's like she's a marathon runner, like getting handed a drink.
Well, also it seems, from what I remember from the pilot flashback, it seems like it's in a different location, like where this happens, because it was inside in the pilot, and now it's outside.
No, it was inside. Like. It seemed like it was still inside. It just looks a little different.
Yeah, it's. Like,
I mean, that's fine. But at first, when she said "you spit in my drink," I was like, "Wait, are we gonna try to say that she had it in her like saliva and she spit in it?" Like, I was real confused.
That's
for a
what
minute.
I was trying to like piece together. I was like, is that to like imply that Madison inadvertently drugged Veronica?
Yeah.
Because she had like GHB in her spit or something?
Yeah, but instead her drink was spiked with GHB and then she handed the drink to her that she spit in. So that's how she got drugged. So Dick Casablanca saying that he didn't drug her is still true by his POV. He didn't drug.
Tried to drug his girlfriend.
Yes. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
So the events that occurred. Luke gave Dick the 2 doses of GHB. Mm-hmm. Dick was going to use the GHB to drug himself and his girlfriend so they'd have a good time. Madison saw that Veronica was there and she's like, ugh, I don't like her. Spits in her drink, gives the drugged spit-in drink to Veronica instead of her drinking it. So,
and she's only giving it to her because she spit in it and it's like soda or something. Like she's not giving it to her because she's like, oh, this definitely has drugs in it. She does not know.
Yeah. Madison does inadvertently drug Veronica.
Yes.
But
inadvertently. Like,
yeah. And Madison didn't have knowledge that there was drugs in it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all just a fucking perfect storm of nobody really knowing what's going on and just terrible things happening.
Well, when you're playing with party drugs at a party,
yep,
party drug stuff starts to happen.
Yep.
Like,
and does
Veronica could be acting the way she's acting without the drugs. Like, I've seen drunk people act this way. Like,
yeah. But after this flashback, doesn't Veronica say something to Madison like, you have no idea what you giving me that drink did to me? And Madison's like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
No, Madison's like,
whatever.
I'm spitting your drink. Like, I'm sure you had a lot of other spit in your mouth that night.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Because, like I said, what Madison does spitting someone drink, fucking disgusting. But it's not the giving someone a roofie to, you know.
Yeah.
But she's pissed. Veronica's pissed about this.
Yeah, no. She has a right to be. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Would the night still have ended up the same way if she wasn't drugged?
That's a good question.
She still had feelings for Duncan. Duncan broke it up with me, and I never knew why.
What was my boyfriend?
He used to be my
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
One day he broke up with me out of nowhere.
Yeah. So if he came into like a room and started talking to her, and she had her faculties, she might have still slept with him. Like, I don't think. I think the knowledge that she didn't know what happened is the trauma. But I think if she would have might have slept with him at that party.
Yeah. But
I mean,
what a fucking tangled web of all of this shit coming together, man.
We'll get to it. Like, if she didn't get drugged is one thing, but the other thing that happens is really what makes.
Yep.
Yeah. This is why we knew it was going to be a long podcast.
Yeah. So we then go to, and this is quite possibly my favorite scene of this series so far. We go to Duncan outside, and he's walking to his car, and he can't get in. He tries to open the door.
Did you think he was going to have to go back into the party to find his keys or something when he couldn't get the door open?
I thought something completely different was about to happen.
Oh, what did you think?
He can't, he's pulling on the handle. He looks confused. He's like, how come I can't get in my car? He pulls on it again. And then he starts to like limply like moving his body, like trying to open the door, and he's getting faster and faster and faster. At this point, I thought that he was going to like smash his head through the window. That's where I thought it was going.
I thought he was going to punch through the window.
Okay.
But before that, when he couldn't open the door, I was like, wait, do you not have your keys? You don't have the clicker, the little clicker to unlock the door? I thought he was going to have to go back into the party. He was going to have to confront Logan. I thought they were going to have a scene like that. Because I was like, why can't he get his car open?
Yeah, Duncan like punches Logan or some shit. Yeah.
But I just didn't understand how come he couldn't get into his car.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But he can't get into his car. He starts punching the car. He starts kicking the car. And then walks away, grabs a shovel, and breaks the driver's side window of the car. And he's doing all of this while screaming like a banshee. Mm-hmm. Like, just high-pitched, like...
It's just normal occurrences at the Echolls household.
Yeah.
He has the outside soundproofed. He was like, I want to be able to beat up Logan every part of this house.
And no one will hear a word. No one... In the Echolls house, no one can hear you scream.
Can we soundproof the gazebo? Like,
But Duncan's flailing
Mm-hmm.
and screaming was just fucking cracking me up, dude. And then,
yeah, this is where it gets good.
and then Meg comes out.
She hits her mark. She has a place that she has to stand, and she can only stand in that one spot.
Yes. She's standing on the X,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, Duncan, are you okay? What's going on? Is this because of Veronica? Is this about Veronica? You're still in love with her, aren't you? You're still in love with her. And Duncan's paying no attention. He's still screaming and bashing his car like a fucking wild man, dude.
Yeah.
If I'm Meg, I'm like, I'm afraid of this guy. I do not. If I see this, I'm like, I'm going back into the party. I don't care how many drinks Madison spat in. I'm drinking them.
Yeah.
I'm chilling, dude. Like,
The only reason you like Duncan is because he like kind of asked you out. You were like, yeah, do you even like this guy really?
dude, I would go inside and be like, everybody, Duncan's freaking out. We need help. Something's going on out there.
You know that guy that went missing for a couple days? I think something happened. To him. I don't know. Should we talk about him or should we celebrate Logan's not birthday party?
His very merry unbirthday.
Yeah.
Dude, I was cracking up at Logan's just like he is flailing his limbs, dude.
They keep.
It's Duncan. Yeah, he's
They
just fucking bashing this car. It's crazy.
Is this an? I don't know what they're trying. Are they trying to do the lead again? Like he gets violent urges. He could have done something to Lily.
Yeah,
but I'm
dude,
already past that.
The addition of Meg coming out there and just like saying the worst possible things.
It took him forever to get going because Meg just is like leaning against the column when Veronica comes over about the drink. She didn't go after him. And then she's like, well, good thing I told Veronica about the spit thing. That's the title of the episode. All right, now I can go outside.
Yep. So then we go back inside at the party. And Aaron's like showing some kid around.
Dude, this party looks so much like the holiday party where he was stabbed in. That's the first thing I saw. I was like, this is a nightmare home.
Yes, it is. So Veronica's over by the hors d'oeuvres. And Logan comes over to her. And he's like, hey, let's get out of this weird party. They leave. They go out by the pool. They go into his pool house where he has all of his video games and stuff.
The place they should have walked into immediately when they got there. The place they should have been in instead of the living room with the mom urn. Yep. That's where you take them to.
But they go to the pool house. They start making out. And Logan carries Veronica to his bed. And they start undressing. And Logan's like, hey.
Can I just say... Can I just say this is happening after she confronted, like moments after confronting Madison about being roofied and being like, do you know how that fucked up my life? Oh my God. Cut to, I'm making out with the guy who brought the drugs to the party.
Yes, dude. Yes. I mean, that's unbelievable. The guy, like maybe 2 hours earlier, I was talking about like maybe he's trying to figure out like who potentially raped this girl.
It's just
maybe 2 days ago, the guy that she accused of raping her, like
you can't be in the mood to make out after any of this. I just can't see it. And you can't.
I can't either.
And you can't. Okay, Duncan might be your brother and he's someone that you have had sex with and someone that you have also just had feelings for in general as a person. You just saw this motherfucker storm out of a house because he saw you with Logan. And you're not like, fuck, man, I kind of feel bad about what just happened to Duncan, a guy who just ran away because of what I said to him beforehand. No, I'm just going to make out with his best friend now at a party where all of the people that I don't like and have interviewed today are at. I'm going to separate myself to add more rumors to the rumor mill by going... I just can't. Dude, I just can't. I don't know.
And then it just keeps getting crazier. It just keeps getting crazier. I just can't picture her being in the mood to make out with Logan after
everything she's been with through. And
dude, even if she is in the mood to do it, like let's just say like whatever, she's in the mood to do it, whatever. The tact to be like the lack of tact to be like, hey Logan, maybe you should talk to Duncan. Like I saw him storm out. Like
maybe I should go talk to him.
Nothing?
Yeah. He's a person.
Nothing. But no, they're making out. They're undressing on the bed. And Logan seems really happy about this to start. Logan's like real into it. He's taking off Veronica's shirt. And then he goes, wait, stop. I have to tell you something. And Veronica's like, I've heard enough stuff today. I don't. And he's like, no. He's like moving his face away. Like, I can't go through with this. I need to tell you something.
Now, here's what I'll also say. It's implied that they're going to like have sex though, right? This doesn't seem like a make out and that's all we're going to do. This feels like.
This seems like it's going further than that.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I have to tell you something about Shelly's party. And then we get a flashback to Veronica, people doing body shots off of her and stuff. And Veronica's like, yeah, I heard about that. I know about the salt lick. And Logan goes, no, but wait, there's more. So we go back to the flashback. And while people are doing like the body shots off of Veronica, Duncan comes over to defend Veronica. And he's like, yo, what the fuck are you guys all doing? Like, she's like passed out. What the fuck is wrong with you all? Leave her alone. And he picks her up. And this is the person that Meg saw Veronica with from that first flashback. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, we're not doing this. Duncan's like, everybody leave her alone. And Logan's like, come on, man. It's just people doing body shots off of her. Like, it's fine. And after, I'm like, if I'm Veronica, after I hear that, I'm like, fuck this guy. I don't like this guy, because Logan's like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. She's passed out, but we're just doing body shots off her. It's no big deal. But no, this is the romantic interest, everybody. This is the person that some people were with from day one. They knew Logan and they were on board with it.
To be slightly fair to the person that said that on Discord, they did say they have horrible like taste, or like they like the bad guys, the bad boys. So
yeah. So Duncan's carrying Veronica away, and Logan's like, "Hey man, just chill. We're here to have a good time. We're at a party. Just relax. Here, take this drink." And we see that Logan has drugged this drink with GHB. Mm-hmm. And he gives the drink to Duncan. So now we know that Duncan was drugged as well. Mm-hmm. And we go back to present day, and Logan's like, look, I feel horrible. I am taking responsibility for what happened to you, Veronica, and I'm asking you to forgive me. Like, I feel terrible. I didn't know what that was going to happen. I was just trying to have fun. I was trying to get Duncan to loosen up. I didn't know it was going to lead to all of this. And he can't stand that he hurt her like that. And I just want to protect you.
Yes, I just want to protect. He's like, I just want to protect you. And then I was like, what? When did your protect? Because I was flashing back to the earlier episodes when he's driving the car and using the flask and being like, "Hey, your mom's a drunk." Yeah, I was like, "This is the guy that wants to protect her." He's been talking shit to her half the season.
Bashed her headlights in, like.
Again, this comes down to like the crossover, them liking each other. Never weaved together well. They just kind of made out and. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But then, and he also says, I just want you to trust me.
Yep.
And she's like.
And she goes, I do.
Now, I'm going to read my notes and then explain my notes.
Let's do it.
I wrote, Veronica hates women.
Right. Can't wait for this explanation.
which I pulled back on because of the reference that I have in my second note. But like, Madison roofied her by accident. And she's like, fuck you, you piece of shit, right? Logan roofied Duncan on purpose. And she's like, that's fine. That just led to him possibly having incest with me. But yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you were just trying to have a good time.
Also, yeah, I don't mind talking about the guy that I just found out that I had sex with that confirmed I'm my brother while we're on top of each other. Yeah, that still keeps me in the mood. I'm still ready to go. And then I thought back, she punched Beaver for leaving her in the room, for not going through with something that would have been horrendous and awful. He gets a punch in the arm and she's like, you jerk, just left me there. But Logan gets a pass. The guy who brought the drugs there. The guy who then drugged his friend, who then
his
caused
best friend.
Who I understand he drugged his friend to get his. I understand Logan's logic of why he did it. But what he did led to him having his inhibitions down and going through with something that he probably wouldn't have done, knowing what he knew. Because Veronica doesn't have that knowledge yet about the sibling relationship.
Yeah.
So what Logan did directly led to what happened. More so than what Madison did. I think what Madison did probably affected her less because she still probably could have got drunk and blacked out. I think she would have had drunk. If she's walking into a party and grabbing the first drink there, she was definitely going to start doing shots. She definitely was going to let loose. She's on a
mission to fucking
she was going to probably be a little loose and drunk, right? So I think her being roofied was has less to do, but Duncan being roofied really lowered his inhibitions to say, fuck this, I'm going for it. Because Veronica would have hooked up with Duncan if he asked her to. She
probably.
Yeah. So I was just so it's less of her hating women, because I was thinking about the Carrie Bishop thing and how I'm you're pushing against everyone, but it's just Logan she's not pushing against for some reason when he is pivotal to what has happened to you.
Yep.
And he's apologizing I'm sorry, because he doesn't know about the family ties. So he's I'm sorry I drugged Duncan and he had sex with you consensually. But I just can't believe Veronica's shut up, take your pants off. I don't care.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. He says all this and she's still down, and then she's trying to make out some more. I'm like, word?
And then we get the weirdest part is that he's I could go for a drink.
Yeah.
And he gets
use a refreshment. How about you? And Veronica's yeah, I guess.
Yeah, drinks haven't been a problem at all for me recently. What are you
dude?
Why are you planning to drink more?
Oh, because she can trust Logan. He just wants her to trust her, and she does.
The person who admitted to putting drugs in the drink.
Yep.
So
Logan gets up. He starts unscrewing a vent, and Veronica's oh, you learned that from Lilly. You know, your dead girlfriend. Let me bring her up.
Yeah. Just nothing. It's let's just bring in the mom urn too. Let's just get all the things that would be boner killers out here, man. What is happening? How?
Yep.
Hormones, teenagers. I'm sorry. She's not an average 17-year-old.
And Logan's unscrewing it and he goes, oh, you mean Lilly, my dead ex-girlfriend. She learned that from me. Wink, wink, wink. He's so chipper about this.
Dude, Duncan just walked out, dude.
Duncan, you can't hear him smashing his cards.
You guys have a room. You have a house full of your friends hanging out with your weirdo dad that they probably think is cool because he's in movies, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah. But he unscrews this vent and he pulls out a secret key to the liquor cabinet. And he's like, I don't even know why I need this secret key. I feel like I should have just a key to the liquor cabinet. Can you believe this?
Is that in his little, I guess that's not his room or anything.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. Yeah. I guess that's not his video game man cave thing.
But there's why is there, most liquor cabinets probably wouldn't be in the guest.
Yeah.
And I can't picture them having a lock on the liquor cabinet with Trina around, who's obviously old enough to drink, I think.
Yeah.
And who gives a fuck if Logan's drinking?
Yeah. Aaron seems like he's the kind of dad that's hey, you guys can drink, but your keys stay with me.
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes over to the liquor cabinet, puts the key in, tries to turn it. Key breaks in the lock. And Logan's gee, What luck, huh?
And they're all just like, today's been great. If Veronica had a mental breakdown seeing that lock break, I'd be like, great. Yeah, no, your day's been all over the place. Like anything should set you off right now.
Nope. But they're fine. They're giggling. Logan's like, hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get something. He kisses Veronica, and Veronica's all giggly.
Hops into the middle of the bed.
Yep. Starts spreading out. Logan's leaving. And so Logan leaves. Mm-hmm. Veronica's in the middle of the bed. She's looking at the ceiling. She notices something about the ceiling fan. She's looking down like, oh, where's the ceiling fan plugged into? Well, this is curious. So she stands up, looks at the ceiling fan, notices that there's a hidden camera in it, follows where the line from the ceiling fan to behind like a bookshelf. Mm-hmm. She opens the bookshelf.
No key needed for that.
Nope. That's just there. Anybody can open that up. Yeah. Opens up this gigantic bookshelf. It spreads apart and reveals 2 TVs, a VCR, and an additional camera view. Mm-hmm. And Veronica is like, oh my God. She walks back. She's like looking into the camera and realizing that everything in this room is being recorded.
Like it's like shot top down right over the bed, like surveillance.
Yep. Right over the bed. And there's also like a side view. Mm-hmm. And Veronica's like, what the fuck?
Come on. I hate this. I hate it.
How do you think Logan's going to explain this away?
He's just going to be like, yeah, it's my dad's weird sex room. I didn't know he had it.
Fair.
Like, it's no way that this is Logan's plan. Because Logan wouldn't say, hey, I know you're riding on top of me, but you know what I'm going to tell you now? I'm going to tell you something that should make you hate me. If he's doing that and planning to film himself having sex with her to win some, like some 90s movie bet, like, then that would be like, wow, he is the most perfectly awful high school villain. But I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what they're going for. And they keep having these moments where she's about to hook up with Logan when she also shouldn't. And then something over the top happens. I guess the last time it's not over top to find out about the drugs, but it comes out of nowhere at the end of an episode that she goes to talk to that guy. And she's like, I got the drugs from Logan. She's like, well, I'm not going to Catalina Island. And here she's like, I'm about to have sex with Logan at a party while her dad is in the house entertaining his dad is in the house entertaining our high school friends. What? And then this is going to be the thing? And she thinks this is Logan's plan? This is a breaking point?
I mean, to be fair to Veronica,
I mean, you definitely get out of that. You definitely get out of there.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
You maybe also don't come back to the house where the person was stabbed.
Yeah, like, saw a guy getting whipped.
Like, nothing good has happened at this place.
Yeah.
Money was stolen. Weevil had the nape of Sean. But they still hang out with... I guess they don't hang out with... I don't know what his status is anymore after stealing money from the party.
But Veronica sees all this, and she fucking runs out of that party. And good on you, as you should.
Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Should have stayed at your place. Like, you know what I needed? I needed Logan to... I needed a scene while they're sitting on, I guess they're at Veronica's place when they're sitting on that bench or something. I have no idea where they are.
It can't be. It looks like I have no idea where they're at.
But I need to see him be like, hey, come back to my place. Like, I need to like mislead even further because she goes, we can go back to my place. My dad's out of town. He's like, no, let's go to my place. Like, make it seem more misleading that he would do this for this reason.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for her to go there.
Yeah. But she runs out, and Weevil shows up on his motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, dude, you okay? And she's like, yeah, thanks for picking me up. I just got to get out of here. And Weevil's like, yeah, no problem. Gives her a helmet. They ride off into the night.
Does Wallace not drive?
Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. We haven't seen him drive. Wait, no. Because we saw him. Remember, he was going to drive Alicia home it looked like he was about to get into the driver's side of that car when they were fighting about her seeing Keith.
Yeah, but it was like the mom's car. She's there. It's not like, and we've seen him drive Veronica's car, but I don't know if he has like his own car.
Yeah, we haven't definitively seen Wallace drive, but yeah, Weevil shows up with his motorcycle and he drives Veronica to safety. So Veronica comes home. She's like, wow, what a last few days, huh? Finding out all this crazy shit, interviewing people.
I guess she couldn't have been at her home because her dad's not there, because her dad is there. Is this the same night? Did he just drive back from Vegas?
No idea.
Okay.
But she's like, whew, what a crazy few days. Let me go home. Let me relax. Figure some shit out.
Which I should have done immediately after talking to Duncan.
She opens the door. She says, hey, Dad, I'm home. And then the camera reveals Keith and Leanne, Veronica's mom. And Leanne goes, so am I, honey. So am I.
That line was such a TV line.
Yep. And that is where the episode ends.
Veronica has never come home. Hey, Dad, I'm home. Never. 2, he probably shouldn't be home. He should still be in Vegas. So she shouldn't be coming home expecting him to be there. And then the mom, so am I. He's like, no, I can see you. Like, you don't have to talk to me so that I can hear it trailing over the credits. But yeah, man.
What an episode, man. I mean, I texted Vance after I watched the episode. Vance texted me like, wow, we're going to have a long podcast.
I called it.
And I texted him after I watched the episode. I was like, this show is relentless. That is the only word that I can use to just like, it is just one haymaker punch after the other and just craziness.
Like, I'm still like trying to get to my feet to not get the like 10 count KO, and then they throw in the mom's back.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm just staying down, man. I'm just down for the count.
Relentless.
The thing I don't like about the Logan thing is that we started with, I don't like, it's like they get them together and they push them apart, and then something crazy happens, and now Logan has to explain this, but there's already enough.
Logan's gonna see her at school tomorrow. What's wrong? Hey, what's good? Weevil's gonna stop him. She's not interested. He's gonna start exactly like this episode.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, what, you think I had a sex camera in there for me? You know, it's my dad. And she'll be like, oh yeah, your dad, the serial like affair person. Okay. Yeah, that actually makes sense.
The well-known philanderer.
Yeah. But she's okay with the roofing his friend that led to what it led to. Like, she's not even...
That's fine.
She's not even reacting to that part, though. That's the thing that is strange to me, because I can't. It's just really hard for her to go to making out with Logan after that bomb is dropped. Like, there's a slight level of relief in finding out the truth, but finding out the truth adds another level of creepiness to it that doesn't. I just can't see like you're about to go have sex with Duncan's best friend now.
Yeah, that I feel like this entire last 2 days would be a real mood killer.
Yes. The only thing I could think of is if the dude with the abs that she claimed, if he was there and he was like onto her and she was like, fuck it, I'm just going to take my shot because he is like a one-time chance, you know, to hook up with him. That's like a different thing, you know, like I want to remember having sex or something, maybe, you know, but it wouldn't come with the extra baggage that hooking up with Logan comes with. You're back in the 09er circle. You're back in like Duncan hates you again. You're back in like eventually having to tell Logan that you slept with Duncan and that he's your brother. Like that. Like, I just like all Duncan has to do is like, he's told you that you're his sister. He just has to tell that to Logan. And that's going to be fucking a mind fuck for Logan.
Yeah. Dude,
and how do you not feel bad? Logan's the one that caused that to Duncan and you. Like, he fucked you guys over with that. That's the one drugging that directly ties to it. Because I think the way Veronica was going at that party, she was going to get hammered and make some bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But Duncan wasn't going to go that far. I think he would be drunk and silly, but he would, in his mind, know, fuck, I'm not having sex with my sister.
Yeah.
But then we're going to find out they're not related because there's no way. There's no way.
There's no way.
The show's not doing that.
What do you think Veronica told Weevil? You think that she told him about like Logan's
she just
sex
said,
recording
she just said,
thing?
pick me up. She just said, pick me up.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
And Weevil's like, I'm on it.
She's like, you know what? Lilly was right. I choose Weevil over Logan.
Yep. Weevil erases that tattoo.
He
puts Veronica.
He's like, how can I turn Lilly into Veronica? And then he calls up Tad, and Tad's like, I got a good guy that can fix tattoos.
Yeah. Tad, with the Seth tattoo.
Yeah. He's like, they wanted to turn to Beth. I turned it into something so much cooler.
God, that fucking tattoo was so bad.
Who killed Lilly? Got one episode left.
Dick Casablancas did.
I really hope we get to the bottom of the Lilly Kane case this season. I do not want this to linger another season.
Who do you think killed Lilly? I'm saying Dick Casablancas.
I think that Celeste Kane was wearing Duncan's soccer uniform and role-playing as him as a turn-on for Jake Kane. And then Lilly saw this, and then they killed her and covered it up.
Because they had to take her out.
Well, because she was going to out the dad's crush on his son.
Yeah, she had to be taken out.
Hey, take your pills, Duncan. Take your pills, Duncan.
Well, oh my God. The next episode is titled Leave It to Beaver.
That used to be a sitcom for any of
Beaver do?
That used to be a sitcom for our younger.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're young, you'd have no concept that used to be a sitcom. I mean, that's before my time. I just know of it because it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty famous.
Yeah, but like,
did Beaver kill Lilly?
If you're 20, you don't know Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah. You think there's 20-year-olds listening to this?
Oh, we got the 20-year-old market.
I feel like if you're 20, you don't know Veronica Mars, maybe.
Hey, who knows? These things go on trends, you know? People started rewatching certain things.
True.
Buffy's got a new generation watching it.
Yeah, that is true. They're getting a reboot / sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Leave It to Beaver. I'm going to say that Beaver does something heroic. He stands up to Dick Casablancas, and Dick Casablancas is like doing something bad, and he eventually gets the confidence and courage to stand up to his big brother.
I like that. I'm going to say they find super duper incriminating evidence in a dam by the Neptune Creek.
And the only reason they did is because a beaver built the dam, got stuck in some of the wood.
I would love this to just be an environmental episode. Like Veronica's back to just solving some case of the week.
Yeah. That's it, everybody. Just a trip to the dentist. This episode felt like a trip to the dentist.
It really did. This is a lot. This is a lot.
Thanks for listening. If you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating review, Spotify 5-star rating, Amazon wishlist, Instagram, TikTok at Boys Watching Buffy, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. Join our Discord. Let us know what you thought. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy, Dollhouse, Empire Records. And yeah, we will see you next time when we talk about Leave It to Beaver.
Look at that. Beaver's getting all the loving. Dick's flapping out in the breeze.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.